welcome to Scott's Case Files channel, where we're playing some Blades in the Dark, and let's jump straight into it. We're doing Blades in the Dark, Cult of Tides, and let's introduce our players or our cultists first off, and then we'll go straight into the intro, which I always forget, but not this time. I swear. Let's start with Steve.
Hello.
Who's happy to be here. We have Cassie Mouse.
Hello.
We have Dr. Oculari.
Hello.
And last but not least, Neocree.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. So let's see. So last we left our intrepid cultists. You completed yet another mission. This time it was pretty much a social one, where you basically talked the gondoliers out of, laying waste perhaps to a group of fellow worshippers. And pretty much secured them a place to worship and made a very big argument for money to be made there, that kind of thing, for the gondolier side. So very cool, very successful. We also got a crew advance. So I figured, let's just talk about that right away. Let's get that out of the way, and then we'll go to actually, you know what? Let's do the intro movie, because I almost forgot it yet again. And then we'll go to that. So hold tight. Here we go. Excellent. Cool. I remembered! Yay! I win! I've already won. I got you fantastic people here tonight, and I remembered to do the freaking video. So, good job. Good job, Scott. So, let's go to... let's up your cult stats, your crew stats. Let's see, that's a crew mode. So... what are we thinking, peeps? So it's 2 crew upgrades or 1 special ability. What have you guys been thinking about? I know that Cassie's been thinking a lot about looking at the either thug cohorts or a workshop.
Yeah.
So those would be the upgrades, which we get 2 of, right?
Well, you get 2 boxes, if you will. So if you look at the crew sheet, you'll kind of see where that is. So for example,
I see.
Yeah. So a new cohort would cost you 2 selections, but there are a bunch of 1s in there too.
Sure.
And then of course, or you can choose the 1 special ability. And right now you guys have the chosen. You guys got the immediate +1 action rating to one of your skills just to start with, which is a good boon, and have the potential to get another one. So what do you guys think? You guys have had a week, so there's no excuse. What interests you? What makes you a better cult, and what makes you kind of cooler scoundrels? What do you think?
You can also get stuff from on page 95 from the crew upgrades.
Yeah. Yep. And that's on again, if you look on the crew sheet, you'll see all those.
Yeah, so my thoughts had been, the thugs were a good choice because of our, ferociousness and...
Yeah. We can also get them that they're actually loyal to us rather than some other people.
Right. But then I was also fond of Bound in Darkness, because that's sort of how our patron communicates with our acolytes. The ability to speak over, any distance.
Right. There it is.
Also, we probably should put some edges and flaws on our acolytes, because we never actually did that.
Yeah. Now we're talking about cohorts.
Well, they are a cohort. The adepts are one of your cohorts. There's the adept one, yeah.
But those are just properties that a cohort is supposed to have, right? That
Yeah.
Yeah,
passive,
it
as
kind
you
of
were
gives
saying,
when they act on their own volition, it kind of gives me an idea of how they're going to do what they do.
Okay.
So yeah, so let's focus for the moment. Let's focus on what's new, and then we
Yeah.
can go back and look at the other stuff. So, what are your thoughts? And again, we have some a lot of support for the thug cohort. Again, that Bounded Darkness is pretty cool, and definitely thematic for you guys. A workshop would be definitely helpful for Cassie and maybe some of your friends, like your physiker and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then as you get
So,
into other things, yeah, go ahead.
so Cassie, where have you been doing your tinkering up until now without a workshop?
I guess she just has um like a table or something.
Okay. More like
Uh,
just sort of a bench in the corner that you've appropriated for a workbench
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
uh, it is a workshop. Does if you're doing crafting or investigation or research, I think it gives you a +1. If I do a
Hmm.
crafting, it makes things less expensive because it ups the result level.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I pasted it up there.
when you're talking about research and that sort of thing, there are ways that all of us could take advantage of the workshop then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It can basically help in any kind of like crafting or research or investigation long-term projects.
Yeah,
Okay.
and let's see. So the
So if
layer,
we
yeah,
did a workshop, we would still have one other thing left over to use somewhere, right?
Yes.
yep, yeah. You could do like a prowess of some sort. Have a quality upgrade. Again, you can kind of by default, you guys can have +1 to your tier of quality of a category of item, documents,
Okay.
gear, implements, supplies, tools, weapons, that kind of thing, which is helpful. Um, Otherwise, yeah, insight, prowess, and a bunch of your you could make your adepts elite, or do a ritual sanctum in your lair. Or cult rigging gives you 2 free load of documents or implements. So all good. Oh, there's not a bad choice here, in my estimation.
I agree. What's your preference?
Honestly, I think thugs. I think that would fit. Personal preference would be thugs. It does fit with our combat and more aggressive style, and it also connects nicely with Adrian and his background as a military as a soldier. So he'd be the commander again. So he would definitely like having having a unit to command once again. He doesn't have 2 in command just because he likes talking to people.
Good
Right.
point.
He was a commander during the war,
Cool.
Okay.
and I can build him towards it too. I can get an ability that will make the thugs even better in combat.
Gotcha. All right. Does that sound like a good choice for you guys?
I'm good with thugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
sure.
Cool. All right. Let's do thugs. Nice.
Thugs.
All right. Because I want to kind of get you guys going. I'm not going to spend. Let's worry about edges and flaws at a later point.
Okay. Just go to where I'm looking at the Game Master crew sheet. Did thugs appear on there somewhere?
On the right side, if you're accessing it, you should see a new cohort. There's 2 levels of cohorts now. You have your gang adepts and now gang thugs. So what do you guys
On
think?
the very right in the black section.
Yeah. So what do you guys
Okay,
think what they look like?
Well, whatever, yeah. Sorry, what?
So what do they look like? Are they basically like are they cultists, or are they kind of like dudes who think you're pretty awesome and tough and want to fight for you?
I would say they're cult, like the stronger, like cultists who have a background like me. So, you know, washed up soldiers, ex or current toughs or bravos who were attracted, who found some meaning to Shanas, and after they came from that group that we rescued. The stronger amongst them came to us to ask to see if they could serve in a more direct way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That work for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want if they're not believers, I wouldn't want them to know where the lair was.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And Adrian welcomed them with open arms. He's like, fresh material I can mold.
Do they get the brand, or is that reserved for a higher level of
You tell me.
like us?
What do you think?
I think anybody who gets to enter the lair and know where it is needs to
is ordained as a formal member of the cult.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Works for me. All right. So awesome. So we picked our upgrade, and you guys are very close to getting up, maxing your rep, which means it's almost time for tier. And prep for that, I just want to. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say, I thought Cassie looked up that we needed 8 coin to go up a tier as well.
Yep. Yeah, 8 coin. Right now you have 3 in the bank. Let's see here. Yeah, 3 in the bank. I don't know how much each of you personally has, but there's a score coming this session, obviously. So that's a possibility.
I have 1 coin left, so I could put in 1 coin.
Let's see, what do I have?
2.
I've got 2.
Yep. So yeah,
and it looks like I ended up putting 1 in the stash, and you said that I can't take that out without losing half of it or something.
Yeah, for every 2 you take out of stash, well, you have to take at least 2, but for every 2 you take out of stash, you get 1 coin back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So right now I can't take anything out of stash because I only have the 1, right?
Right, but you do have whatever coin's not in stash. So just put it out there.
Yeah, and also when we went up a crew, you get 2 coins in stash.
Oh.
When we went up a crew level.
So it's for your investment, you do get something back. Plus,
Interesting.
Plus I just want to point out that again, tier is big. This is important. Yeah. When you're facing other tiers of gangs, that has an influence on how you interact with them. You know, either weapons or words. Tiers help. Also, when you're trying to get items or create items, the higher your tier, the better you do, basically.
Okay.
The easier it is.
We also get more people in our cohort, so like we get like 2 or 3 more people in each of our cohorts.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of benefits.
Cool.
So go ahead.
Oh, there was one thing I was considering is perhaps sometime we should see about doing a job to get a claim.
Ooh, wow. Now, this is where you steal my thunder here, Neocree. And we're just going to block Neocree off. Neocree is now muted. He is no longer part of this conversation. Well, thanks for... Okay, well, I'm just going to... You just take it from here, Neocree. You got the story. I'm just chattel at this point. No, you guys are good.
No, I didn't hear anything he said, so you can just go on with whatever you're
doing. Okay, excellent. But yes, so... Cool. So let's jump straight into some free play. I know each of you, or several of you at least, has something you'd like to do, or interact with each other or whatever. This is free play. This is role play time. This is time to, role play amongst each other. This is time to get out there and do kind of your own thing that is not a downtime type of activity. So yeah. Anyone interested in kicking us off?
I'd say.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, the first thing, because right when we had left last time, I had finally managed to break the Bravos, revealing who his cousin is and everything. So I would have immediately taken that to the group, because deciding what to do with him and the information is a pretty big decision.
Okay. Well, we'll start with that. You'll give you guys a good group get together to start things off with. So
go ahead. Who was he again? I don't think I wrote it down.
Who was the person you captured, or the person he fingered?
The person he fingered.
It was Griggs, the gondolier lieutenant.
Yep, his cousin. Uh-oh.
And just to
The
refresh
person
me,
we
he's
just
the
talked
one
about.
he's the one who found the artifact, or who told him where it was, or something. But he was involved in that first artifact, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Putting this together, right? Yeah. Okay.
You are. You got it.
Yeah, he set. Griggs set them up and also took the cash. He was at the backing behind it, essentially.
Sure.
They were just front guys.
Yeah.
All right. So I left him. He's back in the chamber. I left Sawtooth to like start working, keeping him stable, start working on him, to start healing him, just in keep our options open. So Adrian, Breaker's gonna walk into the central area. He's called a meeting. Well, I have news. I do not know yet if it's bad or good. It is definitely important. The leader of that Bravosi gang we took down, the ones using Shanaz as parlor tricks. He finally told me, his backer, how they got the stone. The artifact. He wouldn't have said stone. How they acquired the artifact.
We'll get to the point.
It was Griggs.
Griggs?
Yes. According to his cousin.
He seemed quite friendly enough when we were just dealing with him last night.
Perhaps they just sold it. They didn't know what it was.
According to him, Griggs set it up. He gave him the stone, he gave him the cover story, and he took their money. He was the backer behind the operation. Based on what I saw of the man, he probably doesn't care. He's not a believer. He's not against the goddess, but he definitely does not put much stock in her or her teachings. He likely merely saw it as a way to make some additional cash. So now the question falls as to how to deal with the Bravos. We have and that information.
Well, he's in our. We have him here in our lair, so we can't really let him go.
I made sure he does not know. I made sure to bind him. He does not know the location, but he most it wouldn't be a great deal to deduce who we are if he was to be released without at least some precautions taken.
I don't know. How stupid is he?
He's pretty badly damaged mentally. He was.
Okay. Is he somebody who could put together the other senses, information from his other senses, the smell of the neighborhood, the sounds that he hears, to deduce
possibly
our location?
I'm not sure. At the very least, I wouldn't chance it. If we're going to consider releasing him, I would I wouldn't be comfortable unless we had some sort of method to remove his memories, or at least muddy them to the point that they are useless.
Well, I will say if you want to kill him, you should take him elsewhere. Otherwise, the Death Seeker crows will be flying right up above us.
Hmm,
That's a good point.
true enough.
Well, whatever it is, I want no part in it. I won't
Do
kill
you
a man
have a
unless it's in.
suggestion other than killing him?
There are
I
stories.
don't, and that's why I want no part in it.
There are.
Is there a way of befuddling his memory?
There could
Is
be.
there
We'd have to.
a ritual or a
There are all
herb
manner
or
of
something?
concoctions, rituals, potions. One of them might work, but we would definitely take
Let's-
time. The question is, do we feel leaving him alive is the best course of action? I feel I believe he and his people have paid the price for their blasphemy. I am amenable to letting him live.
Also, it would bring more heat down on us if we kill him. We should probably avoid killing if necessary.
You said he was related to the Skrigs?
He is his cousin.
That's unfortunate.
That is why I hesitate to. That is why
I mean,
as part of the reason I'm amenable to him surviving.
we can't kill him anyways, because if the crows didn't get him, his brother or his cousin's a whisperer.
True enough.
Ooh. Good point.
That is a good point.
But if we release him damaged, it also won't take won't take too long to figure out that we were responsible.
What do we know about him? Is he somebody who may have stumbled upon a recreational infusion and the wrong one?
Ooh.
And could we essentially disguise what we've done to his memory?
That would be a risk.
Junker will hold up a little bag with some glittering blue powder. This will put him at a deep hypnotic trance. And with that, you could probably convince him of any number of things.
Could the hypnosis be broken or overcome by his cousin?
Well, it'd be enough to muddle what he has seen. It wouldn't be able to, completely, but it would definitely create false memories and sensations.
That could be.
But
That could work. His mind is stressed as it is. Sawtooth is saying to him she should be able to calm him down, at least enough to be coherent. But add this onto it. There should be enough confusion that he wouldn't be able to point to us, merely to a group who interrogated him. If he even remembers that much.
I mean, did he see your face? Was it dark?
He saw my face. But he did not see any. But he did not see any other. He was not. I did not leave him out of that room. I don't. He saw all of our faces during the fight. Well, actually, I believe only I and Ramira. You were on the rooftop. Fish was from behind.
Yeah, he
Releasing him with enough drugs in him seems to be a good choice.
I agree.
Yeah, she'll toss you a little bag of the blue powder. mechanical, it's trance powder. I get it. It's a glittering blue powder induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled.
It doesn't quite account for the experience he undergone.
Well,
For I doubt anything Breaker did was pleasant. Besides stop.
Well,
Oh, damn.
everything has other side effects if you take too much of it. Do we
True
know
enough.
what the
And Breaker is
overdose effects are?
you are always tripping. You never not trip.
Yeah.
You just basically you just become eternally blazed. It
Yeah.
would be my guess.
Yeah.
You are pleasantly hypnotic always. You are always in a trance-like state. I don't know. Oh. I guess the real question is how much physical was Breaker? A decent amount, probably. I think that should be good.
Well, that just means when his friends discover him, he's on the bottom of a stairwell where he obviously took an inebriated tumble.
Yes, obviously.
Cool.
All right.
Then make it happen.
See, so, well, he'll do just that. He'll head back down to where he was keeping him. Sawtooth's been tending to him, and also giving him some dose to calm him down. He'll ask Sawtooth how much he knows. I mean, she's a decent physiker. She might be familiar with the item in question and its properties.
Gotcha. Go ahead, ask.
How is he doing?
Yeah, Sawtooth kind of is behind and to one side, and you can see the dude's like just sweating. Anybody goes down to take a look at him or whatever, you'll see just the sweat, caked on blood, caked on sweat, caked on blood. He's had a bad week. And Sawtooth, I forget, is Sawtooth a male or female or
female? She's a female Tychrosi.
Okay, gotcha. With the
her
Sawtooth.
teeth are the tell. Yes.
Hence the name. I get you. So yeah, Sawtooth, she'll like kind of be right behind at the side and then kind of go behind and grab him by his head kind of forcefully. For Physiker, she is not the, soft loving type, with the great bedside manner. She's definitely more the like, shove this in the wound and bind it together and hope that it doesn't pus up or whatever, and probably you'll be good if you survive that part, So yeah, she's like, you'll live. You've been on the battlefield enough, Cross. You know what kills and what doesn't. You did a good job.
I try my best.
He'll never hear out of this ear ever again, but otherwise, this'll heal.
Well, we all are known by our scars. He'll just like touch. He'll like finger absentmindedly like one of the many that are on him. It seems we will be needing him to stay alive. But what do you know of this? And this powder might be the key to it. Are you familiar with it? Hand her the powder.
Yeah, you can see the glint in her eye before she kind of wipes it away. She's like, no, I have no experience with this substance whatsoever. And she
just give her a blank. You just give her the look, just like, really.
And she's
We've
like,
known each other for how long?
Like there's no guaranteeing how much of a dose is dangerous, truly. I'm assuming you want it to be to the level approaching deadly, but not there. Mess him up, Mrs. Brain up, addle him.
Yes. We can't have him fingering us. We need him addled enough so that anything he says will be suspect.
Mm. Well, he was that before he came in.
That is true. He did it. A lot did happen. He did kind of. He was kind of thrown into the frying pan and then into the fire, and then over some coals. So it's like, yeah, he's probably already pretty messed up.
We could probably give him a good dose that would do what you want, but there's no guarantees.
There never is in this life. Do your best. We will have to risk it. We can't afford killing him.
Oh, you want me to do the deed?
Oh.
I'm just advising you. I don't actually do anything like that. You're the cold-hearted thug.
True enough.
I'm just a physiker. I'm here to help.
What if are you the only one in there talking to her? Or is
I mean,
any
did
of us
anyone
out?
come down with me? I
Hey,
mean, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
You guys could all be there.
Okay. Well, if you, I'm sure you'd be better at picking the proper dose for this guy, and if you wanted to take a bit of it for yourself, that's all right by us.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of. Okay.
Yeah, technically it's in my bandolier, so I got as much of it as I want. Within reason.
Well,
reasonable.
She doesn't need to know that.
So, yeah, she'll kind of, run her tongue over her very, very sharp teeth, which is how she gets her name, by the way. Not sure if you can do that. But she'll kind of consider it. She blinks a couple times. I'll measure it out, but I'm not going to put it in him.
That's perfectly fine. I'll handle the administration.
Yeah, he just has to inhale it. It's an inhaled thing.
Yeah. Still, it's the. Hey, I'm blanking on the word.
It's all right.
It's the idea behind it. She's basically doing everything, but she's not giving it to him. So she technically isn't. She can just wash her hands.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She was just helping. She wasn't involved.
She gestures to Adrian and Fish, Breaker and Fish, and is like, okay, each of you lift him up by under one of his shoulders. I gotta figure out the weight here. That'll help me.
I do so.
I do too.
Excellent. Yeah, so you guys are holding him up, and she kind of puts her hands under his feet, trying to get an idea of how much you guys are holding, how much is there. Kind of runs her hands over the guy's body, kind of get a feel of how much what the composition here is. But yeah, she measures out a dose. I'm starting to hear some feedback too. Anybody change anything? Anything different?
I didn't change anything. I promise.
I trust you. Okay, it's gone again. That's cool. Right. Yeah. So she'll measure out. Let's say since Breaker's doing the deed, why don't you roll some fortune dice? Let's see how this turns out.
Sweet. How many dice?
I'll say 2.
Yeah.
Let's actually, let's look at out of curiosity. Well, yeah, let's call it 2. I'll give you 2 dice for this. That'll be it's based on basically your relationship with Sawtooth and the fact that they're a physiker in their own right, kind of helping you. So let's go 2.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay. All right. So the dosing happens. You basically use probably a pipe type thing to blow it up his nose, and you see him he starts convulsing, and it's like then nothing, and then he convulses again. Some blood starts bubbling out his nose, and he like he kind of looks at you and his eyes go blank. This is what you've seen in a dead man, but he's not dead. He's just like, you can see there's the heart's pumping, but nobody is home. Nobody ever will be home ever again. So he just goes limp. So you have a living but not so much dude. What do you do?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we can work with that.
Unfortunate.
We can
Yeah,
work with that. You can still just tumble him down some stairs, make it obvious that he snorted way too much of this stuff, and let somebody else put that together.
Yeah. Hashtag scoundrel problems.
Yes.
I did consider taking the physical trait, but I don't think she's had much medical training.
She's probably more, used to blowing crap up than, putting things back together, much less people. But she does an inventor too, so there's that.
Well, how unfortunate. Well, let's see. How do we deal with the
Yep.
a living dead body?
So you can do it now, or basically if you keep him hydrated, he's got 21-ish days
Fair enough.
before he starves.
Yeah.
I mean, how would we ever keep him hydrated?
Ivy.
I sensed snark from Steve so early in the session. What is going on here?
If it's salt water, we probably can't use that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that, but yes. Sure, you can dig some water up somewhere. But yes.
At least go drop him off somewhere far away from our base.
Well, yeah, that's the plan. I guess he's trying to, drop him off near some vice den in an alleyway.
I think we should the sooner we drop him off, the better, because we want his tumbling down the stairs, wounds and damage to look fresh.
True.
Well, tossing him out into an alleyway would probably get a decent. I wouldn't go so far as to actually toss him down a flight of stairs. We want him to not die.
Yeah.
Because his ghost is not going to be addled.
Well,
not a happy
we could just drop him at the bottom of the stairs, and the implication that he fell down the stairs would be.
Though, and again, if he happened to die nearby, relatively close to the spirit wardens, there wouldn't be a ghost to find because they'd take care of that.
But then you would potentially definitely get some heat.
That's true. We would get some heat. A dead body was found.
If someone's house is on fire, please evacuate. We'll live without you. It's gonna be okay.
Yes. I mean, we can. Do you guys want to deal with this now, or do you want to table it for a little bit?
I mean, I say you deal with it now. Like, go dump him as soon as you can to get rid of him.
True.
Yeah, just take him out. I mean, there's like tons of vice dens and silk shore. Just take him just take him to one of the vice dens and silk shore and dump him in the back of the lot.
I'll do so. I'll take him out. Probably give him a good dunking to Rosh. So he's like, yeah, he's busted, he's battered, but it's not like, it doesn't look like he's been tortured or anything. And then I'll probably drag him off to an alleyway near a vice den somewhere far from our location.
Okay.
Taking the back roads and whatnot. Basically, that's looks like a scoundrel carrying a buddy who got banged up in a fight who's out of it.
Yeah, maybe just leave the pipe next to him too.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So just to expeditiously take care of business, I'll have you do a roll. So let's figure out what action you want to do and who you want to have help you, or if you want to make this a group action of some sort.
Well, I guess I can see there's two ways of us playing this off. One is prowl to just try and get there unseen, or command to just try and just intimidate anyone who notices into minding their own business.
Sure.
Like,
All right. So the question is, are you going to go solo? You want to assist with someone to help you, or do you
I
want
would love
is
an
it
assist.
a group role? And which action are you going with? Which is your choice?
Um,
I'd prefer prowl. We don't. Command might work, but that would still imply that somebody has seen you and potentially recognized.
Yeah, it's still making waves.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
consequences potentially, but
Yeah.
I'll stay here and let you guys take care of it.
Nope, I wash my hands of this.
I am. Have you seen me? I am very easily identifiable. Look at me. Just look at me. Cool. All right, so let's get this show on the road. So sounds like all right. So it's like Neocrete. You're gonna prowl. You're gonna use fish as your assist, or you want to?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Now, the fact that I've got 2 prowl dots, can that help at all?
Just gives a +1.
Yep, you'll just get a
Okay.
+1 for kind of being there to kind of maybe you're probably it's reasonable that you're like showing them like, okay, so
Yeah.
you're used to
yeah.
busting heads, so you want to go see that shadow good,
Yeah.
shadow good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
it'd make more sense for Fish to roll and him to assist because he has more dogs.
I mean, we could do a group action with Fish as the head, because that way Fish is actually help. He's there with me, directing everything.
Yeah, but I want you along so that I'm not dragging the guy along.
Yeah.
around.
I'm carrying the guy, and Fish is showing me where to go and where not to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so who's the actor, who's the assist, or how you doing this?
I would say group
So-
action would fit for this.
Could we do a group action with just 2?
I boot.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's see here. Let me just double check. I don't think we've ever done that. Let's see.
I'll check too.
Sure. Yeah, that looks like it would work. Let's do it. Cool. All right. So, but who's the main actor is Fish, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So why don't you both roll? You both will be rolling your prowl.
Okay. And again, it's risky. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll call this risky standard effect. It's
Okay.
reasonable for this specific action.
And there's no bonus die.
Now, unless you want to push yourself or a devil's bargain or something like that.
Push myself.
Take 2 stress, get another die.
I think
will.
I'm going to do that because we want to.
We want to make sure we're not connected.
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, spend your
So
2
I
stress and
take-
then 1 bonus
Okay.
die.
Wait, where'd the roll marker go?
I don't
Is
know.
that behind the window now?
Well,
there it is.
click
Okay.
on prowl and go from there.
Okay, 1 die. Submit.
Jesus. So, not riskiest bunch of freaking scoundrels that have ever scoundreled.
Hey, come on!
They're
The,
incredibly
the-
lucky. That's what they are. We just
the fake snorting of him didn't go so well.
Yeah, so I mean, prowl, it's misdirection. This definitely works out. So yeah, you guys kind of do the whole, oh, my buddy is so drunk, as you're kind of bringing him through. Probably have like a hat or something on, as just like a
Yeah.
disguise to
Yeah.
not make it totally obvious that anyone can see his face. Hey, that's friend, whatever his name is, that kind of thing. You guys can stick to the right areas. Fish is he knows how to get through the city without being seen, and not just shadows, but like crowds. We're talking Assassin's Creed level shit here. Blending in with the crowds, leaving the crowds, going. What streets are good to go down. What take them along the waterways at one point or another. That kind of thing.
Mhm.
Where you're not going to be seen, where people aren't at, especially that time of day. Yeah, you basically plant them at the the one place just like closed for the day. Technically there's party 24/7 in Duskwall at the red light districts, but even they run out of supplies. So yeah, you guys plant them at one of the local drug shops, drug dens, or at the foot of the stairs. Position them just right, and walk the hell away, and forget he existed. Should anyone ask?
Can I tweak that positioning a little bit?
Absolutely.
We
Go ahead.
want to place him
Yeah.
so that it doesn't necessarily imply that drug den. There's a specific drug den that sold him the goods, because we could be
He's
giving
just
that
in the
drug
area.
den a
He's
problem.
just like in a drug den area. Like he's
Yeah, yeah.
we're dropping him off in a like an alleyway or somewhere near the in that district, like a
Right.
vice
Yep.
district.
Yeah. So there's no clear indication of specifically where he may have got them.
Sure. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, you have a excellent role. So yeah, perfect. That works great. Good job. All right, all done. Dude is now out of your hair. No longer have to worry about him for the rest of your lives. No way, no how.
All right.
Oh no.
All right, what's next? Do we have any more free play you guys wanted to do, or are we going to set up a score here?
There was one thing I wanted to do, but I don't think it'll really take up. It would be a personal free play.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go.
It's just a small thing. The fish, got the eel bite during the last action, but it's also basically he goes back there, he dives down,
Mhm.
he takes some food with him, and he dives down, he finds the eel, and he feeds the eel because he wants the eel to know there's no bad feeling.
Oh, interesting.
Because this is his world, and anyway, that's my free play.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, so you find yourself at the bottom. I'm not sure if it's it's dark out. There's probably there's electro lights out there, whatever they call them, electroplasma lights. So there's just a little bit of light down, and that's what the eels love. They love the darkness. They're thriving in this whole world thing. But yeah, you kind of get down. This is kind of your stomping grounds. So yeah, you kind of get down there. It's cold. Especially if you ever swum, gone into a lake, and the surface might be nice and warm to your skin, and then you go under, and suddenly the deeper you get, the cold, the blacker it gets, and it gets colder, and you totally sense that. And as you kind of find that eel den, they kind of have their little holes. Yeah, he comes right out, kind of hesitantly, as you might expect, as you can barely see him through the darkness and whatnot, but yeah, you see him pop his head out and takes the food hesitantly, and then pulls it all back in as much as he possibly can, and won't be coming out again tonight. He's probably eaten his full. So yeah, so you've satisfied the denizens of your world. Is an eel a fish? I don't know. Possibly.
It's a fishy-like thing. I don't know.
We'll call it a fish.
It's got gills.
Dusk of all eels are fish.
Yeah.
I can say that, right? Yeah, of course I can. Cool. All right. Anybody else for free play?
We're gonna have to take a Wikipedia break now and figure out the answer.
Nice.
Scott, I don't know if you wanted me trying to connect with the Spirit Ava to be as free play or as a project.
No, you already did your project, dude. We're
Okay.
past that. You're doing great. Yeah, let's do some free play. You absolutely earned it. So yeah, so you're gonna pop over to White Crown.
So I actually put on, slightly better clothes than I normally, wander around our, haunt with, so I don't get immediately arrested.
Exactly. And you do see a number of blue coats. These are the better dressed ones, obviously better bribes. Their uniforms are stock, but you can see that they've been perhaps tailored to them. After all, they're talking to some important people around here in this district. The governor's stronghold being literally right there.
I'm sure they get special uniforms from people they give kickbacks to.
That too. Again, it's tailored, pressed, looks clean. Not the soot you see on all the other uniforms back in your district. Not back in Silk Shore, Crow's Foot, or whatever. But yeah, you kind of wander around. You get people passing you, and again, Peacock is a commensurate high class blender. Not only you kind of have the clothes. It's not the level of everyone else around you, but you're a former noble, a rich noble. So it's like you have the benefit of knowing like those little nuances. How a rich uh
Who not to make eye contact with.
yeah, who might not make eye contact with how how you
anyone not wearing nice clothes.
exactly. Like how you tip your hat to a woman as opposed to a man, as opposed to someone who is above your station or below your station, or that kind of thing. So again, Peacock definitely has this edge when trying to blend in this type of area, and not stick out or attract the attention of bad people, aka bluecoats. Yeah, so you kind of go to the area where you had kind of worked out in your research where she was killed. And this area, I don't know what kind of would she been in, like an alleyway or the street itself, like right outside a shop, like a shop's doorway or something, or
I mean, I think it was like a private garden with a fountain.
Gotcha.
Maybe she had been conducting, some, ritual, or trying to seek some favor, someone there, when she was attacked by the other cult. Maybe the other cult, wanted that, noble's favor.
Gotcha. Cool. So yeah, so you know where to go. Again, you guys have researched this. You have it narrowed down. When you get there, it's like, oh yes, of course this is the place. And even now the guard, it's like it's like the like those high walls, like the 15-foot tall walls with the iron wrought gate, as like an entrance on probably like you can see like through the garden to the other side, where another street begins, and another gate. On this kind of thing, there are no locks. I mean, what do you need locks for when you live in this district? When the ruffians who would defile a garden are miles away and totally not like
Totally not.
totally not. So yeah, you kind of let yourself in, I would expect, and probably just sit there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and sit down by the fountain.
Okay. Why don't you give me would you mind giving me a tune roll?
Yeah, a tune is definitely what I'm looking for here.
Okay. For purposes of this, I'm really just I'm gonna call it controlled standard.
Okay.
As your research has shown, she's a repeater, meaning she kind of appears out of nowhere, kind of does what she was doing right before she died, and then reenacts her death, and then goes.
Right, but if I recall, you said she had attacked some people too.
Right, every now and then, and what you're hoping at is, if my understanding is correctly, is to break her out of that repeater stance and kind of interact with her and maybe get her out of repeater status, all told, that kind of thing. Yeah, go ahead and let's roll into tune. Not good. So it's controlled. So yeah, so I'm gonna say it you're there for like I would say like 4 hours or so. The time it's kind of foggy as to when she died. She was found in like quote unquote the morning-ish hours, but you know, who's to say how long she was there?
Right.
So you're about 3 hours off, and suddenly you see her pop up. She again, it's just like this electroplasm suddenly fizzles. See like a little ball of it, and then it kind of grows, and then it kind of seems to take up a vaguely human shape, and then you kind of see like that, just a little bit of color coming through the grayscale. As she kind of looks around, as she's carrying a little basket of like rich people's gardening tools. It barely has any dirt on it, and you know the second it gets any a slight bit of rust on it, it goes to the junk heap. And yeah, so you kind of watch her as she does her thing. She actually gets on, not quite on her knees. She like puts down. You can see her go through the motions of like putting down like a towel or something like that, so as not to get any actual dirt on her. And as she kind of starts trying to dig away, or you see like the motion, this pantomime motion. She suddenly turns, and you see her take this big intake of breath, and then you see like blood erupt from basically like around her hind, her back third type of thing. And it's weird. It's electroplasmic blood. It's so weird. And as she does so, her eyes focus on you, and like you can tell, but the look in her eyes, and it's hard not to read, is holy shit. And this repeater thinks I'm her murderer in this very second.
So I sat in the wrong place, is what you're getting at.
That could be too, yes.
Yeah.
I
Technically,
don't know.
you could still resist that if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's possible.
Don't you only resist if you take stress?
You can resist any consequence, technically.
Yeah, you can just as a thing.
This is controlled though, so I will say right now you're not about you could be attacked eventually, but this is controlled. So this is a period of what you do next kind of decides how this is going to go down.
So how would resisting in this case work? Like I understand if it's something where I'm taking stress or
we can say she kind of looks through you, and you at first you think it's her, she's focusing on you, and actually you're probably standing where the guy right in front of where the guy was standing. That would be the result of this resist.
Okay.
Or you could roll with it and do some other action to snap her out or reason with her, or whatever, but that's completely up to you.
So yeah, I mean, I think I want to roll it into a different action, and so I basically I stand up and try and get out of her immediate line of sight, like direct line of sight.
Mhm.
And step to the side, and as I kind of expose the cult symbol brand, I'm like, I'm here to help. You can break out of this. You can be free of this nightmare. Come back to Shnas.
Ooh,
Come back to her tranquil waters.
cool. So what action do you want to use for this? I can tell you it sounds like a sway, but
yeah, I think I'm trying to bargain with her, or trying to offer her another path.
Yeah, this could also be like an attune or a consort, really, or
I think probably more sway.
okay. All right. Do you want a devil's bargain or want to push in this one?
What would the devil's bargain be?
The devil's bargain would be whoever the cult the group, someone of the cult that actually killed her is nearby and spies you doing this.
Excellent.
Right? That works. Give
Let's do
yourself an
that.
extra die.
We go up to risky then.
Yes, this is now we're in risky territory. Not I wouldn't say we're desperate yet, but we're absolutely in risky territory. let's say risky standard. And actually, you know what? Oh, actually, I almost forgot. Let's see your ghost voice. What does that have? Does that help us here?
So it gives me a potency when communicating with supernatural.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, let's call it. Yeah, let's say it would have been. It may have been limited. Let's call it standard. I think
Okay.
that works correctly here. Go
Let's
for
try
it.
not to get 4 1s.
Equally as possible as 4 6s.
Well, not 4 1s, but
All right.
4 I'll take.
All right. So yeah. So she I'll say she breaks out of her repeat status here, at least long enough to kind of check you out, and she sees your mark. And she'll reach out to you without even realize, she doesn't know she's a ghost yet. That's part of being a repeater. So she reaches out to you, and I'm gonna say she'll touch you for like, let's say, I think 1 harm here is reasonable for a touch, trying to touch your symbol. Or 1 harm. Unless you want to resist that. That's obviously resistible.
Last time I tried to resist something simple, I took a ton of stress.
There's that. And we're not even started yet.
I'll just take the shock.
Okay. Excellent. Awesome. All right. Cool. All right. So yeah, so she touches you, and it's the act of hurting you and hurting someone with the mark that breaks her out here. Again, you did your research. I mean, if you were just kind of confronting her right now, I would say that this would be with just going in blind, I would say this is a project on its own. But you've already done your project to kind of get the details of her, know what she, the nuances of who she was, what she wants, where she was killed, what status she's in as a spirit. So I'll say at least, I can't go much further at the moment, other than say she's snapped out of the repeater status.
Yeah, and I think that was my goal, for right now.
Right.
So as as maybe she's starting to fade away, I'll say, save your strength. I'll come back.
I await you, follower of Shanas. Yeah, she fades to nothing. The little crackle happens. You didn't realize it, but the hairs in the back of your neck were all standing up just from her presence, and that ozone smell is now kind of quite obvious and starting to fade already. But yeah,
Perfect.
cool. All right. Anyone else want to do any free play before we kind of get into the next score?
I think that Joker is pretty pleased with the how their crew's been going, and she just takes some money and gets some friends, and they just go out drinking.
Cool. Do you take them to the casino where you normally would
Probably somewhere else, like some of her engineer friends and maybe some Severosi people, and they just go out and have a party.
Nice.
And
What does a Severosi party look like?
Let's see. There'd probably be some songs they could sing.
Something about there be something like crude, or like how and what do you wipe your ass with at the ghost keep, something like that, and then they go through each verse is a different thing that they wipe their ass with, and you have a cat, and you have a board, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Something weird ass like that you can sing while you drink.
like crude songs would be fine. Yeah, I did buy a point consort, so
Laundry tunes.
It's a good celebration of it. Good job.
I had a thought, if it's all right, of what an engineer drinking session might be like, is you'd end up using, like the drink straws and umbrellas or whatever. Start making Rube Goldberg machines on the table.
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah, and Severosi will use, umbrellas in their drinks, but nobody gets to see them. Like, nobody. They get a back room for that shit. but it happens. Cool. Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, it's kind of neat. I like that, again, Junker is kind of staying true to her heritage, or at least trying to get a taste of it every now and then. I think that's pretty important to who she is. That's cool. Very cool. Anyone else? Anyone else has some free play? All right. I will say that's a no. And all right, let's continue on to checking out a score. Let's see here. So as usual, because I am not a railroader.
We just finished the mission, so don't we have downtime now?
I could swear you already did all your downtime. That's why we're in free play.
No, I'm pretty sure we haven't did our downtime yet.
Are you sure?
I sort of recall that we did, but yeah, because that's when I did
Yeah,
like a healing thing.
I'm pretty sure we ended. What last time we ended was like just when we completed the score.
You can make me watch the video real fast in the background.
I think we should.
I was gonna say,
because I did. I remember I told healing thing to try and get rid of the heal bite. Spent some of my half of my coin to try and get more.
Oh no, I remember we did the downtime real quick. I remember.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. So onto the score, and again, unless anyone else has anything they want to do.
No.
Cool. Awesome. All right, so let's move on to the action. So let's see. So yeah, as usual. Ooh, and I'm hearing some echo in the background. If anyone's done anything, just undo that. But let's see. So, a couple things. Who of you guys, who generally hangs out with who? Like, if you're on the street, you can't. Generally, it's great to stay locked up in the lair, but as we know from real life experience, need to get outside. Or even the most inside person wants to get the hell out. So who hangs with who generally? Out of curiosity.
I kind of have a feeling that Fish would be more likely to hang with Junker than the two military guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd say Breaker would probably hang with Myriad mostly primarily due to they're both are. He feels that he is also like a true believer, who's interested in like furthering understanding and connection with Shanas.
Gotcha. So who's that? Who hangs with Breaker?
Peacock.
Peacock. Okay. I'm just getting a general idea, just to set up the score intros. So does Fish and Junker want to hang out for the purposes of this setup?
Yeah, that's fine.
Shoot.
Yeah, I hope you guys like hanging with each other. You're kind of in a cult together.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. So let's start with.
We could sort of anti-hang too, as Fish and the person that's is least like Fish might find themselves hanging out together and trying to figure out how to hang out together. I guess that's free play, so never mind.
That's good. It's good call. I mean, it's all role play in one sense or another as we go through all this. But yeah. So let's see here. So I'm going to say let's start
here's
with.
a way to set it up. Maybe we're out like on the docks where it's like there's not a lot of people, and we're just like shooting like cans, like Fish like throws up a cannon, like Junker will like shoot it.
Stuff that you do on a Thursday. That's
sure.
Cool. No, that sounds. I mean, yeah, you're probably not the only ones. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, you guys. Let's start with Fish and Junker. So yeah, you guys are doing your thing. Another can or whatever gets thrown up in the sky. Hear a crack come out of nowhere, and suddenly the explosion. Every now and then you kind of see where the bullet goes. It hits like the wall of that tenement over there or something like that, or just disintegrates as it hits whatever. But yeah, you guys are doing your thing, and suddenly there's like a fish. You kind of you're the one who's more used to being stealthy, and by virtue of that, I think you're also one of the better to like sense it, and you sense like someone's behind me, and you turn around, you see this guy. He's scruffy, but otherwise nondescript. He's wearing normal, everyday clothes, no armor, no visible weapons. Also, um, he's like, you're the one they call the fish, aren't you?
Who are you?
My name's Cyrus. I'm an associate of. Oh, you may have heard of us, the Crows of Crow's Foot. And you recently did us a little service.
I'm not saying I'm the fish, but what service did he do, or did they do?
What did you do? Well, your crew helped clear out loser crew from our turf, and we like that. We like order. We like being able to collect the graft that we inspire. You don't want to work a 4-hour day, bring in mayhem and terror to the general populace of an era, and then just not get any coin back for it. It's very upsetting to us here there in Crowsfoot. So yeah, they disrupted us. You disrupted them. We're good. So I happen to have a job perhaps you'd want to do, and that's up your alley. He kind of looks over to Junker, and he's like, "And who are you?"
Junker is like, she's just standing there with her big cloak and the hood pulled down.
She probably has a gun still out,
Yeah, she
no,
has like
no
pistols,
intimidation.
holding a pistol. Like her like ragged leather, like thick leather clothing and stuff. I'm just a friend.
It's like, it's good to have friends with guns. He's like, if you're ever in the looking for a bodyguard, you let us know. We'll see what we can whip up. It's like, so let's get to it. I know you're all busy, and he kind of sarcastically, that look around, seeing that they're absolutely not in any way, shape, or form busy. Just kind of blowing off steam, literally here.
Yeah,
or,
sees the
or
pile
powder.
of cans that haven't been thrown yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like he hands like a piece of paper that's been kind of folded into quarters, and then has like a piece of string wrapped around it, basically, like on like on the both edges, so it goes around this way, and they kind of join together. He's like, if you're interested, we got a place to clear out. We heard what you also did outside the electric fence, outside the lightning fence. And maybe this is easy pickings to you, but we got some spirits that are terrorizing a little area, and I don't feel like it's coming under my jurisdiction, under the Crows, and I would really not deal with them because I don't like ghosts. I hate ghosts. I shit myself every time I've been in contact with a ghost, and if you tell anyone that, I will kill you and make you a ghost that I will then be afraid of, and then I will shit my pants because of, but still. And he's like, there's the address. We'll know if you fixed it.
I think that's a little too much detail, but alright.
He'll take, as he's leaving, he'll take up a can and toss it in the air to see what happens.
He just stares at him.
You hear the can hit the water. It's like, oh, damn. All right. He just kind of shakes his head and heads off. Cool. So that's potential number one. On the other hangers out.
We don't get to open the note unless we choose that one. So.
You can open the note. It's all up to your character. Let's see here. So yeah, let's get to the other group. So yeah, you're basically, yeah. Let's say you're kind of hanging out at the dead drop where you usually, what do you call it? Where you usually hang with Hutchins, where he usually meets you when you've arranged a meeting. And I get the feeling that yeah, you probably hang around this general area just in case he has something for you, and it's easier just to kind of get hold of. Um, and sure as heck, your buddy Hutchins this time, not looking like he just got his butt kicked up and down the street, and he spies Peacock, and you can just see him go, oh. It's like, oh, sanctuary, they they won't let me get beaten up. I'm safe here, and they might actually let me have some food with them. That'd be awesome. Hutchins, as you guys both know, goes between like just kind of like you guys. He goes between having a lot of money to spending it on a lot of useless crap, and then gets money again. But he has those poor periods. It looks like he perhaps is in a poor period.
I of course offer him a drink as he sits down.
Oh, oh, you're a saint amongst men. Oh,
I've been told.
He's like he kind of like sips it and then he kind of gulps it down. Oh, are you saint enough for one more? Yeah, the bartender comes around, and bartender has seen this act not only on you guys likely, but others as he's been waiting for you. But yeah, so he kind of looks at both between Peacock and Junker, not Junker. I'm sorry, Peacock and Breaker, and he's like, I don't know about you, but I could certainly do with more coin, and well, here it is. I ran into your adepts. Those two that barely come out of the into the electro.
Oh, we know them.
Yeah. Yes. They had a message for you. You guys were out. I basically explained to him that perhaps it was a good idea for them to talk to me, and you know how persuasive I can get. And I won't even charge you for it or anything, but they had a message, and I figure I'm here. I'll pass it on. I win, you win. You already gave me some drinks. I think we're square, don't you, Peacock? And he kind of Junker, no, sorry, Breaker is kind of like, you can tell that Hutchins thinks he's kind of below his station, so it's like, oh yes, it's Ramira and the other one type of thing every single time. But yeah, it's not like he would sell you out or anything. But yeah, so he's a friend. He's a friend of the crew. He says, so they are happy with your progress. However, and I don't, unlike perhaps the adepts, unlike your patron, whoever that is, I don't take these things personally, but others do apparently, and I don't know where to find you. I don't know where to, if I wanted to suddenly, I was affected by the tides and suddenly, oh, I'm sorry, I overplayed that one. He's like, if I ever wanted to worship the goddess, where would I go to do so? Where would I go to meet up? Where would I find you? Where would I see others of my ilk? And he's like, they are interested, your patron rather is interested in seeing you expand your holdings in the area, give your people a place to be the cult, a sanctuary of sorts, if you would, a place where you as paragons of your goddess would be seen in a very positive light and maybe bring in more worshippers. And it just so happens that I know just the place, if you're interested.
Of course. So far, you've been helpful.
He you can see he is freaking hurt to his core by so far. Oh, you might as well just have stabbed him in the chest for that remark. He's
Oh,
like,
please, a kid, and I motion to the bartender.
it dulls the pain, you see. He takes a swig of the next drink. He's like, it just so happens that, and I know this is too good to be true. However, just up the way, in Silkshore even, there is a place that I think would be just perfect for you. And in fact, is inhabited by, oh, let's say, fellow worshippers of a completely different ilk.
Yes.
So, if you happen to take their place from them and get in on their action, if you will. And then again, I know you're not doing this for personal profit, but why not? Why not make use of it? Why should they? Why should another god? I say.
It's on the water, I assume, yes?
He's like, oh, oh. And he does his own. He already has like his own pre-written scroll. He doesn't do that stupid ass, taper, bunched in and tied with a string. This is like this looks like almost like it's an invitation to a royal ball. And he kind of hands it to Peacock. Looks over at Breaker, like Breaker, is as if Breaker has never seen something so fine. And he's like, "I'm just the messenger and the drinker. Thank you so much, but things to do, people to see. I bid you a fond farewell and wish you great things in your worship of your goddess." He kind of looks around conspiratorially. Conspiratorially. Thank you. I always get that one wrong. And he'll make his way around. So this gives you guys an opportunity to meet up, decide what score works for you, and we'll get into the process.
Would we actually get like a claim from that one?
Yes, that is the inference.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like the sanctuary claim, which is a good one.
Sanctuary, maybe the offertory.
I want sanctuary though. +1 to command and sway. Ooh. It's literally, well, of course, he approaches the two of us who would benefit most. +1 to sway, +1 to command. On site, but still. Great to proselytize and great to defend, since I'd be commanding the cohort. Ooh.
Cool. And again, this is like a public place where that keeps the sanctity of your hidden lair. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so those are your options. Don't call me a railroader. I at least give you options that you will eventually take all of them of anyway. But so it's the illusion of choice, really. But no, just as a note, my plan is to give you basically 2 each time. If you happen to never take one, then that's just fine. That's cool. But you'll always have at least 2 to choose from. And I also want to note that this is session 5. You are at the end of this session. We are halfway through this campaign. And you guys have been awesome. So I'm very proud of you. And you should be too. But enough for that for the moment. We'll get to more of that at the end of the show. You guys have about 6 minutes real time to free play it out and decide which one you're looking for. And you can take some more time, but we want to do our halfway break real quick. 10-minute break, but that's coming up at 8:30. So why don't you guys go to it? You're back in the lair or in someplace private, whatever pleases you. What do you say? What do you do?
Junker just comes in and like tosses the scroll on a table. The crows want us to clear out some spirits up near their turf. They say they pay us for it. They're a pretty big name up there. If we got them on our side, it'd definitely give us some more muscle in the area.
That's interesting, but I'm tired of being someone else's errand boy. As I, sort of unrolls the scroll from, Hutchins. Like, fortune has favored us. Just up, the canal. Still in Silkshore. there's a cult that is on some prime land. And our
What do we know about this cult? What are the occult?
doesn't matter.
they're
That
not
doesn't
they're not
matter.
worshippers of Shanas. That's all we need
That's
to
all
know.
that matters.
That's good. Yeah.
That's funny.
Our patron has suggested that we find somewhere more public, more prominent to worship
Hmm.
and attract followers.
Mm,
A good location to turn into a sanctuary for Shanas.
What with them worshiping across the
I
water in a
wouldn't
crow's
mind.
foot?
I wouldn't mind trying out these new thug cohort.
Take him for a spin.
It would also
Yeah.
be a good bloodletting for the new recruits.
Or we could simply convince them to find another home.
mm.
True,
All depends on who resides there, of course.
indeed.
We could just try to block off their access to their god through occult means.
Ooh.
So many options, and we've yet to even name them.
At this time, I suppose the real question is, do we deal with this cult, grow our base, or do we break bread with the crows and do their bidding in exchange for their favor?
I would rather have the favor of Shanas than the crows.
Indeed. I value the lady's favor more. Besides, their favor can regard of another faction can be fleeting. Claims that we control, those are more permanent. We have more direct ability to protect them. What say you?
Mm, that sounds like reasonable. It depends if they could offer us more tangible goods like more guns, stuff like that, perhaps. That'll be better than maybe they could even offer us some, help us take more turf down here in Silk Shore.
Indeed. Well, with a direct, I believe, is this that area would give us direct access to more people. I do not see why we couldn't turn that into an avenue for further expansion. I believe our patron would only see upon such initiative with favor.
Mm,
I think if we're going to do work for the crow's feet, and this offer didn't come from the management of the crow's feet. This offer came from some low-level functionary. I think if we expanded our turf, is that what we're doing? That we would be in a better position to negotiate deals with the crow's feet. More useful quid pro quo contracts with them.
A stronger negotiating position.
Yes.
Negotiating from a position of strength is always preferable.
mm,
Are we agreed?
that
Moving on
sounds
the
about
20th.
right.
Excellent. All right. So let's take our break, guys. 10 minutes, and then when we come back, we'll figure out the engagement and do this thing. Sound good?
All right.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
All right. See you in 10, boys and girls.
See you in 10.
So from the discussion we had about how to deal with this other cult, can we arrange to sort of to go after them with a strategy that has depth? I really like the idea about trying to use occult means to cut them off from access to their god.
I don't even know who they are yet.
But
Hmm.
whatever we do, I think it would be important to have the thug solution near at hand.
One thing I would like to say is if we're going to do an assault, we'll probably get a lot of heat. So it would probably be good for somebody to spend an extra coin to do a downtown action to reduce our heat so we don't go up a one level.
Let's see. What are you guys at now?
2.
At 2?
I thought we were pretty low.
Yeah, we're rather low.
Yeah, we only have 2 heat.
Yeah, but if we get like
Yeah.
7 or more heat and we're doing a big
We did get a lot
assault,
of heat last time.
we could
I mean,
go up a one.
To be fair, we did kill a lot of people. We don't have people.
Yeah.
We can't
you-
just
Well,
beat
and
them.
that's that's what I was saying is we especially if we play our cards right, it could seem as though we were forced into using the thugs if it came to that.
They made us
how can we
hurt
take-
them.
How can we
Yes.
take heat for that? Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, well, first thing I'd say.
So let's do this to kind of let's talk about some let's see here. So we can do some quick couple of quick
Gather
get
information.
information if you want. That'll give you a more informed.
Who are these people?
Yeah, maybe a little more
Yeah.
informed idea of your engagement, and then we'll go straight into plan. The actual engagement, the point of attack, and get into it.
Seems good to me.
All right. So, who is interested in doing what in order to do so? Gather some information.
Okay, did we decide on a plan?
Gather information first would make the most sense. We don't even know who they are yet.
Correct.
But they're nearby, right?
We know the
they're
location.
They're in
know the
South Shore.
We know the location where they're based out of. We just don't know about them. So we gather
Okay.
just a gather information roll or two to who is the cult that's set up here.
Yeah, do you mind if I eat right quick? Because I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah, sure. Just mute yourself. I don't want to hear you crunching as you devour your
Actually,
feast.
Yeah, because generally I would be eating about this time just from the sort of schedule I need to keep. But I've been munching on some nuts and some dried cranberries.
Damn, you're a
So go right
I
ahead.
just have
Trooper.
liquid sustenance.
as you should.
Oh, there we go. So we're all imbibing in one way.
Yeah, Nero created some Everclear. We're ahead of the game here. We're good. Cool. All right. So yeah. So let's start off. Who wants to do what? I'll give you a maximum of 2 investigate rolls or whatever. And then at a max, and then we'll go into the thing. So who wants to do what, if at all? And the more people that can be included in on this thing, the better.
Mhm.
I want everybody to get some time here.
I mean, I'm perfectly open to
Yeah,
acting like a godless heathen and, trying to find out more about their cult from them.
Yeah, a bunch of you could actually probably do that.
Yeah.
Some more convincingly than others, but yeah.
yeah.
I want to learn of gods.
Tell me.
I
I
am not
command
presently a
you.
cultist of Shanaz. I am not.
command you to tell me.
I could do a hunt where me and Fish kind of like scout out and just stake out the place for a while, watch where people come and go and stuff.
All right. So okay, that sounds like two separate ones. Like Peacock, you want to take Breaker along with you?
So how about
my only purely from my. I mean, I've staked out at least twice so far. I kind of like
change it up.
as fish. I'd like to try and do something different. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So how about Fish and Peacock, kind of masquerade as wannabe converts, and Junker and Breaker do the hunting. Actually, that's quite strategic too. So
I kind of like the image of Junker trying to do a stakeout. Or Neocree, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
What's your character's
Breaker.
name again?
Breaker.
Yeah, Breaker trying to do a stay in the shadows stakeout.
Well, from him, it'd probably be more like, a military strategic. You're looking for guard posts. You're looking for, where people are coming and going through the choke points, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So still very good on
a thing that survey is perfect at.
Yeah.
You're allowed to choose your own activity. All right. Well, let's start with let's do. How about we do the stakeout first?
Okay.
Okay. So Junker and Neocree, Junker and Breaker rather. Tell me what you're doing and let's make some rolls. Let's do the thing.
Okay, well, she'll try to just find like a place high up, like on one of the nearby buildings, and just sit up like a little stealthy place so she can just sit there and watch people coming in and out and just see where people are, try to find the entrances to the buildings and stuff like that.
Okay. So that Breaker, it was my assumption kind of correct? You're more looking at from the strategic point of view, like who goes where are good vantage points, where are good choke points, that kind of thing, or what's your
ways to access building, access exits, is there any kind of hidden, is anyone doing anything special to gain access? Are there different people? Is there different things like that?
Gotcha. All right. So for purposes of the roll, who is helping who? What do you guys think?
Survey would be probably. I think survey is like the best for this kind of thing. What's your survey?
I don't have survey, but I have 2 in hunt.
Okay. I could see hunt. You could, because hunt is also about tracking, keeping track of individuals. I could see.
Yeah. Well, it's hunter target gathering.
Oh, you cut out there.
Well, its hunt hunt a target, gather information about its location and stuff like that.
Okay.
Gotcha. I can see both, and again, whoever assists isn't really rolling anything, but
yeah,
kind of doing, describe doing what you're doing to help, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can just assist him. He can.
Okay. All right. So, what are you doing while Junker is doing her thing? She's kind of like getting the crow's nest view. What is your thing? What are you physically doing as you're surveying, if you will?
I'd be walking. I'm just another guy walking through Silk Shore. I'm sure. What's the kind of neighborhood?
It's, I think if I recall correctly, it is some like quasi red light district, but not true. It's not an occult type place. It's not a horrible place. It's not a great place. It's up on the ladder from Crow's Foot, crime wise at least.
I'd say I would be just another man amongst the crowd, and I'd be looking at the area, specifically looking at the different locations in the buildings, looking out for anything strange, odd, and both from a military perspective and from a cult perspective. It's like secret signals, small places that I would make good, that I would think to use as if I was setting up a cult, as I was setting up my cult there.
Okay, cool. And yeah, definitely having Junker with, again, she's proven herself to be great at the bird's eye view of things, which gives you more information than you would ever need. Just to the way she can like see everything as a big picture, literally at once. So that's awesomely helpful. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and let's see, make a roll.
All right.
And let's see here. We'll actually call this risky standard. I'll actually make this a non-fortune roll because there is stuff that could potentially go wrong here. Yep.
That's a
Oh.
critical.
That's a critical.
Yes.
All right. So to speed things along, what 2 questions would you like to know about this?
Oh God, putting me on the spot. The
Well,
revenge for.
well, actually, I mean, you Junker contributed, so Junker, feel free to ask one of the questions.
Well, we'll just try to figure out how many people are there, where are they going.
Oop, you're cutting
Oh,
out there.
Cutting out.
So what's
I
your
imagine
question basically?
the biggest question would be how many people are there.
Okay.
That's one question. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'll say from a cultist point of view, like people who are actually in this, look like they're members and trying to actively recruit people or talk to people or, or kind of like watching the area or otherwise just worshiping, that kind of thing. I'd say you see about like a dozen just standard, kind of like the people you were working to defend at the other place. Those are kind of standard worshipers, people off the street who have found this god and found some meaning in it. And about, I'll say like 5, like of your counterparts, basically. People who are obviously the Feverent followers. They probably have like, um, they're wearing like an earring or something with a symbol on it. We can figure out what that symbol is later. But yeah, you can see like these hardcore people are the ones who wear the earrings.
They wear earrings instead of getting branded.
Potentially, you haven't seen their whole bodies. Who knows?
Okay.
Hey, what they do in the privacy of their own, worshiping grounds.
Sure.
It's not like they're torturing anybody.
As we're doing stuff in Silk Shore, by the way, I just wanted to, where is it? The quickie description of Silk Shore and paging. Sorry, I'm paging back to it. Where was that? Sorry. Oops. Yeah, Silk Shore, the Red Lamp District, which we've been dealing with, and artist community. And I like the idea that I like the idea of those two things sort of mixed together, which makes sense. And I just at some point, I think it would be nice to deal with the artist community aspect, Silk Shore.
Sure, that's very cool.
And these acolyte, this particular cult with ears that are potentially brands kind of makes me think of like what's the term that kids are using these days for for the person with the jeans and the beard who sits in the coffee shop?
Oh,
Hipsters.
yeah,
hipsters. Yeah. I'm wondering if this is sort of a hipster cult.
Interesting.
We're worshiping because it's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that you mentioned it, it reminds me of like turn of the century Montmartre district in Paris.
Yeah.
I mean that my thoughts immediately went to Bohemian. We're in the Bohemian district.
Yeah.
Loose.
Toulouse-Lautrec.
Yeah.
Basically.
So my question would be danger. What's from what I'm looking at, from what I'm gathering, what's the capabilities we'll be going up against?
Well, of the kind of hardcore worshippers, like again your counterparts, I would say like maybe 2 or 3 of them are carrying visible weapons. They all, I would say not all of them, but at least most of them at one, as you kind of watch through the course of like a day or something, you see them in kind of like a round robin fashion, uh, getting high. They're doing some kind of drug, and then that's kind of like bringing them closer to the god type of thing. So you don't. Really can't say you can tell what the drug is doing. It definitely has a euphoric kind of I'm indestructible type of thing. That's something to note. But otherwise, it's not very. There's really no good way to tell with this.
So they're doing fantasy PCP.
Well, there is a thing for that.
All right. So cool. Let's go now. We actually can build on that. So now we have aptly disguised peacock and fish meandering into the encampment, if you will.
And I am actually wearing a disguise because I have that.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So you guys are meandering in. I'll say this is
plain air clothes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So the location will be kind of where I'm pinging on the map. It's like on the southwest shore, Silk Shore, right near one of the lightning towers. So that's probably adds something to the mystique of that cult gathering.
Oh, and then that little sort of blank area just south of it is, again, according to the book, that's where like the artistic community puts on these almost like circus performances under the art lights or under the lightning towers.
Yeah, they glide between them and put on the electric show.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes getting fried.
I mean, and from a sanctuary perspective, it's on the open ocean.
Yeah,
which is a plus, not a canal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so yeah, you guys wander in. Just give me your setup. What are you guys kind of doing to blend in and get some info?
So are we? I'm taking Peacock's lead because this is not something that Fish is used to doing.
Yeah, Fish is not necessarily a people person.
I'm assuming that Fish is wearing some really uncomfortable disguise that Peacock assures them is really going to be effective.
And I've gone with
Peacock,
something.
What are we there for?
So I've gone with something a little bit nicer clothing wise, but not my normal getup. And I'm playing the role of a merchant. Who's exploring his spirituality. And we're there basically to find out like what this cult is up to, like what do they do, what do they worship, see if we can find an in for how we can get to them.
Potential patron.
So what did you dress me up as? What role am I playing in conjunction with you?
How old are you?
Ish, somewhere between 19 to 22.
And I've dressed you up fairly well, but you're going as my son. If that's permissible.
I suppose.
Nice. Cool. Yeah.
I could equally have gone as your, but it's up to you.
As what?
I could equally as well have gone as your daughter.
Fish is them.
Yeah. So we can dress you fairly androgynously. In other words, you don't have to be, male or female.
Yeah.
just minorly alters what clothes I select for you.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you guys kind of be going through kind of, hey, so what's this all about type of thing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to hobnob with the people who are gathered first, and then I'll see if I can, talk to a few of the people who are obviously more important.
Cool. All right. So let's see here. Let's do a roll for this one. So figure out what you're liking to do, and who's going to take the lead, who's going to assist. I'm assuming Peacock will probably lead, but
yeah, I assume I'll take the lead if Sko wants to assist.
Oh, sure. That's what I'm there for. To assist.
Cool. Yeah, and it's kind of neat for Fish to probably hang out with Peacock in this specific sense. Like he's been like he can blend in with the crowd. He can not be seen, or they can not be seen in like the shadows and whatnot. But they're not used to playing a role where that role blends you in or that role deceives people. So this is kind of a cool new kind of level of that whole sneaking around in the shadows thing. You can hide in plain sight basically. And that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
that
and that's what
Peacock
Ramiro
does.
basically says is this is sneaking in the open.
Yeah.
Cool.
You just have to be willing to babble a little bit of bullshit every now and then to maintain a cover.
Nice. All right, let's do this. Let's make a roll with what are you calling that then, Peacock?
I think consort. I mean, I'm trying to gather info, while sort of being around them.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely sounds like what you're doing. These are not, enemies of yours. These are not antagonists in any way. They're just folk, and you're kind of going back and forth looking for information and stuff. So, why don't you roll that?
And what position? Or is it a fortune? I mean, we could say the wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yeah, let's make it a controlled standard with an extra die.
In case I openly scoff at their heretical beliefs.
Right. Yep. And do you want to push yourself or anything like that?
I'm not going to push myself. I'll just take the one assist.
Cool.
Hey, continuing my less good rolls.
Hey, someone has to do
it. So the risk comes into play.
So, yeah, so you're kind of, talking to these guys, and one guy, one of the, you kind of were talking amongst the kind of the lower level followers, and your stuff is working out pretty well in the sense that, hey, oh, hi, my name is blah, 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 and this is my son, blah, 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 Junior, and kind of walking through, and they're kind of happy to see you. The followers, or the lower level followers, are kind of just like, hey, we're desperate for people. It'd be awesome if you worship this god, blah blah blah, that type of vibe. And that, just to have like family affair, father and son, and looks like maybe you have some money. That's cults love people with money. Have you met a cult? So
we have.
Yeah, so that's really cool. You're kind of talking to one of the kind of like the mainstay members, and you're kind of doing your thing. Hey, I'm on this journey. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Where do I find a meaning in my life? And he's like, you look like a man who's ready. You look like a man who's ready to join our ranks. And he takes out this vial with like it's kind of like a wooden version of a syringe, but with like an open end, and it's quite obvious that there's like all it has to do is push the plunger, and whatever dust is inside gets pushed into an orifice. And he's like, this will start you down the path And he's basically I'm going to say he's putting you in a position with where if you don't want to break your cover, you're going to have to do this drug.
So,
or you could just back off and not get really anything
I
out
think
of
this is a great case of the using a resist if I can.
Right? Sure.
Yeah. I feel bad
And
for you.
I actually do have a move for that.
Ooh.
I have Subterfuge. If I can get my character sheet to work right.
I got it.
Missing the scroll bar for some reason.
I just popped it up.
You just not been rolling well today.
Cool. So okay, yeah, spend your special armor. That's perfect.
So, and I want to use that to, basically say, oh, I have to be, alert for a meeting, in a little bit, and my family, was destroyed by drugs, and I just can't.
As the guy looks at you very disappointedly, I thought you were chosen, but I was wrong. He kind of puts it away in a little belt pouch type of satchel, and it's kind of that feeling that he's exuding kind of spreads to everyone else, and now your time is over. So you really don't get anything out of that except that interaction, his insight.
Except for their heavy reliance on narcotics.
Hey, better living through chemistry, as they say. All right, so okay.
Can the way this is structured, can I come forward and say I'll try it?
It's kind of because of the role that you're assisting in. That would basically it's the damage has already been done basically.
Okay, all right.
But no, really good question. That's awesome. All right, you may get your chance yet. Who knows?
Okay.
All right, cool. So all right, so let's go ahead and look at our engagement.
Did we find out a god name at least? I assume.
I'll say Moen.
As opposed to worshiping PCP,
worshiping PCP. Moen, god of like assured tranquility. Which to you doesn't again? This is a weird ass cult. This assured tranquility is you get the feeling is more like I could totally rip a guy's throat out and not be phased by it and still see some higher meaning in the thing etc. that kind of thing. This is not a nice tranquil group as even though it bills itself as such. Yeah. So the god is Moen. All right. So let's look at our engagement. What type of engagement are we looking at? We have assault, deception. So assault, violence to a target. Deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. Stealth, trespass unseen. Occult, engages supernatural power. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. Or transport, carry cargo or people through danger. I can't see transport in this one, but if you guys can make a good for it, I'll go with it.
Let's see.
Which are you guys liking?
It sounds like assaulting them directly would not be in our best interest.
Potentially.
I mean, my first thought is we sort of going with disconnect them from their god, but through the means of basically switching out their narcotics for something far more far less tranquil inducing.
Oh my god, that is devious. Wow.
Spiking the stash.
Yeah,
holy
that sounds
dang.
Sort of unspiking it. Give them actual just plain Kool-Aid.
Oh my goodness.
No. I want to give them something that will repulse them from their goddess.
Yeah.
Or god.
Oh my goodness.
Was it a god or goddess?
God.
Or is it neutral?
In this case,
God?
it's a god.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking in this case, it's like, what? Oh, where'd Moen go? Nothing's
But,
happening.
I can see what he said. I think he's caused them to become untranquil, caused them to act out in a manner that their god finds repulsive, and thus removes their benefaction from them.
Right, and then maybe we'll just
Yeah.
have to use, defend ourselves with our thug.
Holy crap!
What can I do?
Actually, that is
it's like a gun. It's just my gang of cutthroats.
That is excellent, Fish, because I was actually thinking giving them something, so we get the drugs into their system that are more
I know what
sort
we
of
can
akin
do.
to, the PCP or the bath salts in the,
No.
at least in the US, which are basically thinly laced, hallucinogens that, cause them to be violent.
I know exactly what we can give
thugs to put down that violence.
And you're the
claim
heroes.
territory.
I know
Holy
exactly
shit.
what we can give them.
Right, 'cause
Rage
they-
essence. It's an actual drug. It's a drug that cutters can acquire. It causes you to become violently enraged.
There's a risk involved here because, we could be making them into, little combat monsters.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine
they will turn into a bunch of berserkers.
Well, we assume they'll kill each other first.
Right, or blue coats will put them down potentially, yeah.
And if not, we have our king of thugs. It's just a knife. It's like a knife and the other. You have knives. We have gangs of thugs.
Well, I mean, if they're like want tranquility, we could try to give them like a drug that would like make them really depressed and like just want to sleep all the time.
That's, I think, just excessive tranquility.
There is that.
Yeah, but then we could go in there and just basically.
I mean,
basically murder them.
Right. Instead of making them tranquil, make them completely like speed demons. Give them something equivalent to,
and then let
cocaine.
nature take its course.
Yeah, but I mean, if they was all like asleep, we could just go there and like drag them out and just dump them into an alley somewhere.
All right. So which way?
I kind of like Fish's original thought, which is basically to separate them from their goddess or from their god.
Okay, and by
I think that's a good strategy.
Okay, so
yeah, cause the god to remove their
but
protection.
I think, are we doing this through deception though? 'Cause don't we have to, we have to sub out their drugs, and lace them.
Yeah, I think the deception would be we're basically selling them drugs.
Deception could also do stealth, as in, which would be sneaking in and.
I think that's what I was thinking more of.
And lacing their drug with the one you were talking about.
Yeah, with rage essence.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. All right, so it looks like we're agreed on deception.
Was stealth, I think.
Or stealth, I'm sorry, stealth, yes. So the point of infiltration, now when you guys scouted, there was like a building that was next to it that they seem to be using, so I'm assuming that would be like where you would be going at, or where you're trying to get
where they store their supplies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. That's awesome. So we found our information. We've decided to say stealth mission. Point of infiltration will be the building where, in theory at least, they store their stuff. And yeah, so let's do this. Let's get an engagement roll going. Time's a wasting. I'm interested to see how this goes. All right. Yeah. 6, 6, 6,
roll the engagement roll for the rest of my rolls.
6, 6, 6.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Why do we look at what dice first?
Yep, let's look at dice.
Yep.
So, okay.
Count off.
1.
And then load.
Yep. Load and then
load
we'll do
first.
That. Oh, yeah, okay, let's do load first. So what do you guys do on? Just mark your sheets, I trust you. But let me know what you're going as.
Do we have to acquire this drug we're going to be spiking first? Is there anything that could complicate things?
For the purposes of this, I'll say that
we could do that as a flashback.
Yeah, I mean, really, or technically, it is something that a cutter has access to, right? If you're willing to spend your load.
Yeah, I can. It's like it's one of the my items. It's a rage It's a vial of rage essence.
Right. So if you're
Okay.
willing to spend the load, we'll call it that. You know what I mean?
Oh. It's a 0 load item too.
All right. So okay. So I'll actually if you're going to do that, let's say it's one load, one of your load,
Okay,
and you get the
I
gold.
bring enough not just to dose myself, but to make sure that they all get a good dose.
Hmm.
Okay, that's
Right.
fair. I'll
So,
take that.
okay, so let's call it one load off your load roster. So what are y'all taking? Then just mark your sheets. Let you.
Yeah, I'll just take normal.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to go light again
Okay.
because I'm guessing I'm going to be doing the stealthy, the
Nice.
prowling, and the finesse or something. Tinker, maybe.
Okay.
There's a lock.
How about Peacock?
I'm going light.
Light and
So I think I'm going to be, as usual, the distraction.
nice. Cool. All right, and Breaker.
Hmm.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Light or I mean, I guess I could do light. Then if I get spotted, I can command my way past them through strength. Through it. What are you talking about? I'm supposed to be here.
All right. So are you going light or normal?
I'll go light.
Okay. Mark light and mark your one load. All right. All right. So let's do the dice. All right. So start with one, just for luck. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Yes. I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys good with that? I'm good with that if you guys are.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so you're basically going into the quote unquote stronghold of a cult that's there. This is their turf, so there's going to be a negative coming too. So that'll good. I'll say that offsets it to a degree. All right. So is this properly overly complex contingent on many factors? No, it's not. Absolutely not. Does the plan expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I don't know. Does it? I think it's
I could
more like
say,
this is their turf, so I'm going to say probably no, because you're
well,
on
I
your.
mean, we're spiking their drugs. That could be a vulnerability.
But yeah, but you have to do that for you haven't the engagement roll assumes you haven't done that yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, I would say as like, are they particularly guarded against this avenue? Are they expecting it?
They're not expecting it, but this is like their place.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll say this is not a weak place. Do they have special defenses or preparations? I'll say no. Can any of your friends or contacts provide insight in this operation? I don't think they have. Any enemies or rivals? What's that?
Friends or contacts. Um, I could. I mean, one of my. Well, I don't know. It's fine. Just
Okay. All right. Well, not pop anything there. No enemies or rivals. Are there other elements you want to consider? They're not. We'll say they're equal tier to you guys. And let's see here. Da-da-da. Yeah. Okay. Let's leave it at 2. I think.
All right. I will do load 5. I'll be just in case things get messy. That way I
Okay.
can rock and roll.
Is
That's
that
normal.
heavy or is that normal?
Normal.
Oh, normal. Okay. Okay. So you're
Yeah, sorry about that.
okay. So you're basically looking like you're a scoundrel out for a scoundrel walk.
Yep.
Okay. 2 dice. Who is interested in doing the thing?
Okay, the thing is, we're sneaking in to this
Yes.
building to spike their. Well, I think Lurk is the lurker.
Yep.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
but the engagement roll is just a fortune roll.
Yeah, it's just a fortune roll. It has nothing to do with your skills
Yeah.
at this point.
So who wants to roll the 2
Um,
dice?
Yeah, you hit roll engagement. It's right on their like.
I mean, I can. I've just rolled a lot of really bad rolls.
So who hasn't rolled an engagement roll yet
Lately.
lately, or at
I
all?
think I rolled the first one.
Okay.
I think
Has everyone
I
else rolled
just-
a engagement roll?
I can just go
I
ahead and
haven't.
roll it.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay, yeah, Junker, why don't you roll the engagement roll?
there's
2
you
dice.
can roll.
2 dice.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Five? Not bad. Cool. All right, so this is you're in a risky position basically. So you're starting off risky. Things are not smooth, but they're definitely not horrible. You guys basically let's say you basically you're kind of all in there. You're kind of you found like a weak area, probably off to the inner side, like towards the streets as opposed to the water. It's kind of like a little alley type area between the two. You've entered the place. Fish has definitely picked the lock. You guys are able to move in. Things are going like this is Breaker is like this is like being in an elite military unit. These guys are like a well-oiled machine. This is freaking awesome. And so you guys basically you're quiet. There's no little vase over here that somebody knocked over and suddenly it shatters in the ground. But basically you walk in the door and you pull aside this like blanket that they're using and to kind of shield this small hallway, this very stubby hallway from everything. And what you're looking at is a bunch of drugged up cultists like lying on pillows and or rugs and stuff, kind of in the thick of things, with their drug or they're sleeping or something. But there's about like 10 of them, 10 of the normal cultists, the lower level guys, and probably a couple of the upper levels that your counterparts again. But they're all you hear like as soon as you pull the thing away, and you do it quietly, but there's like snoring and like there's somebody talking and it's like, oh, Moen, I will become one with you, and all this, little, everybody's having their own special trip, in varying degrees. Most are glazed eyes. But basically you see one corner of this place is where their stash is. It looks like this, it's this weird, it's not an artifact as far, at least at a first glance. It could be, but it's more like a ritual dispensary. This thing is like on the far side, closer to like the entrance or the exit where they would go to the actual worshiping ground, where you guys are, working on. And it's like this, it's half like stone carving, like with glass in it, and you can kind of see where the drug is input and you can see where the drug is output. It's like this, you can see like it's going, the drug kind of comes together and mixes in this chamber, and you spin this dial and it mixes it all together, and and everything is kind of like a different like symbol of the god or something. And after it gets mixed, it flows down almost like pachinko balls to like these various, like probably like 10 little outlets where then you can see the mechanic here of them. You put the little plunger thing up to it, you hit the button, and after you've spun it together, you hit the little release button and it releases a dose of the stuff into your sanctified syringe of snorting. So yeah, that's your target, and that's what's in between you. That's where you're lying. So you're risky, but you're not blown. But basically, to do what you want to do, you gotta maneuver through this somehow. What do you do?
So you're saying, is there they're arranged? Are they just like all over the floor?
Yeah,
or
there's
is
no
there-
method to this madness. They're just all over
Yeah,
the place.
there's no like path path between cots or anything like
No, it's basically going through a maze of bodies here at this point.
that. Yeah. Okay.
All
I
right.
think fish would be pretty comfortable with
I know something.
stepping and dancing their way through there.
I know what we could do. I got something in my bandolier called drift oil. If I put it on you, you turn in neutral buoyancy, and you basically just start floating. And
Really?
you could just climb up on the ceiling and carry it along the ceiling.
Cool. Are you willing to spend the
Wow.
load to do that? Does that sound like something fish would want?
I think fish would be real interested in giving it a try because it almost sounds like swimming in the air.
Sure.
Yeah, basically.
Cool. Anybody else have some input at this point, or your butt cheeks all just clenched and hoping to God that no one, coughs or something?
I mean, I'm a little bit, sensitive at the moment because I know that if, someone like sounds the alarm, the breaker is just going to go through them like a bad wind.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Peacock is all ready to do the,
Bash
hey,
over
we're
them like a
totally here to
fish.
worship. We're here. We're worshipers. We're doing adepts.
Where's the
For
drugs?
your sake, please let us leave. He'll kill you all.
Where's the drugs
Yeah.
at?
But it basically causes something to float in the air for about an hour.
Oh
So you
my.
could use it to like climb up
Oh,
on the ceiling.
goodness.
Is there that's kind of interesting. There's no once it starts, fish is floating for an hour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is fish floating like helium if there's no ceiling? Does fish just going up?
No, you basically will just float. You'll just
It's
hang. You'll
it's
just
kind
hang
of
there.
neutral buoyancy. It's neutral
Yeah,
buoyancy.
neutral buoyancy. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll just hang in the
All
air.
right. Sounds good.
Cool.
Fish
And
is
this
eager
is
to try it out.
yeah, no, so this is a zero stress flashback we can have here and have you guys discuss this, or maybe we can just call this this was your flashback. But this is what a flashback is for. So obviously you're
Okay.
literally, if you let out a loud whisper, you everything is in peril right now. So this is a perfect chance to say, oh yeah, we're doing a flashback and we had this discussion about the buoyancy oil.
Yeah.
And that's something you could have done without any real planning or stuff to do. So it's a zero stress flashback. So
Yeah.
we're gonna call it that.
So
Okay.
yeah, Joker just takes out like a vial of the drift oil and hands it to fish and like motions them to like spread it over themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, grease up, fish.
All right. Wow, this is kind of yucky, but sure. Whoa, my feet are off the ground. Whoa. No, wait, but I can't be saying that because have I greased up before we go in to the acolytes to the or do I do that? Am I doing this while we're
Well,
already in
so
the room?
a flashback is not a time machine. We can't change what's happened. So at this point, you're already in, and so now you're wiping yourself down with the oil.
Okay, so I'm not going to be talking about how I feel about it.
Not out loud.
Like,
You can certainly feel it and role play that out. Certainly, I'm not going to stop you to do that.
right.
But yes,
Yeah.
again,
But
so
I'm
flashback
not
is
saying whoa out loud to, Yeah.
sure.
All right.
Not advisable.
Yeah, we get we certainly understand where you're coming from. I get that.
Sure. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So how much of this is this right? Turn it over to you now. Do I have to roll a dice to see how successful this is going to be? Or
Yep. So yeah, so you're going to be rolling something. Again, the way this works is you tell me what you're rolling, and I tell you if it's how well it potentially can work. So, what action are you trying to
Okay.
do? I'm assuming
Let's
one over the
see.
others, but
No. But that's an item from someone's pocket. Apply subtle misdirection or sleight of hand. Prowl about unseen. I think we're prowling about,
okay.
traversing obstacles, climb, swim in the air, run,
Okay.
jump, and tumble. Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking prowl. All right.
Yeah.
Can anyone? I suppose really nobody can really assist. I can't think of a way that that's
Well,
possible.
I could assist him basically by giving him the drift oil.
Well, no, that just made it possible. Or else
Or
this wouldn't
Breaker could
happen.
assist by giving him a push.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of that. Yeah.
Yeah, push would work too.
Nice hard
Because
one.
he's neutral buoyancy, he's floating.
Sure. All right. If
This is like being in the space station.
Yeah.
all right. So, Breaker, do you want to spend do you have a stress to spend to assist?
Sure.
Okay. And
Don't push too hard.
Targeted push.
that's gonna be fun. So, do you want to push yourself or do a devil's bargain fish? All right, you have those options.
Oh.
So you already have
Let's
prowl
see.
plus 1 die from the assist, so that's 3.
Okay. Sorry. It's what? It's devil's bargain and what?
Push yourself. So
Okay.
spend 2 stress to get 1 extra dice. 1 extra die. Excuse me.
Push myself this time.
Okay.
I already got an eel bite that's not quite healed.
Okay. Go ahead and go ahead and mark your 2 stress off, and you'll
Okay.
basically be rolling your prowl with 2 bonus dice, and this will be risky. Again, without the oil, I think this would have been a more limited thing. You'd have to kind of maneuver your way around slowly, but this will be a standard. So
Mhm.
risky standard.
All right. Risky standard with 2 bonus dice.
Prowl,
Right.
correct.
Okay. Come on, dice.
Cool.
What did I got?
Okay,
Okay,
so you
not
got
too
so
bad.
5 is a partial. So you kind of zip across, and it goes. It's like, again, it's so wonderful. It's like you are swimming. You're so naturally buoyant that again, it just takes some effort to kind of zip you across, and it's kind of cool. You don't feel the up and down you're used to, but you do feel that weightlessness that reminiscent of you doing your your deep dives, your long dives. So as you're going over, as you're kind of trying to maneuver yourself, like basically Breaker pushes you in the slightly wrong direction to right yourself. You I'd say you're about 6 feet from the thing. So you're basically cruising, and the rage dust drops from your grasp. It lands on the stomach of one of the sleeping, drugged out cultists, and now you basically you're at this point where you're at the wall where the dispensary is at, and you're kind of holding yourself there, but you have to somehow get that rage dust, which is now 6 feet away from you, so not easily get toable, and it's on the stomach of a cultist. What do you all do?
Well, I'm against a wall at this point, right?
Right. So you probably can't do anything
Okay.
yet. So what?
Yeah.
Anybody else have something they want to try or do or help?
Do you want
Well,
to
there's
try
a
to
lot I could
resist
do.
that?
Think of the space station.
Do you want to resist that consequence, Fish? Do you want to just go with it?
I guess I don't. I mean, I think the solution is basically a maneuvering and weightlessness solution. I'm against a wall. I can push off the wall
Yeah. So
toward the guy.
yep. So what Junker is saying is you can resist this consequence.
Yeah, I just try to remind people because
Yeah.
keep forgetting.
Oh, I can resist the whole dropping the thing.
You can
Yeah.
resist that. It's calls
Okay.
for a resist roll, but you do have a prowess
Right.
of 3. So
And the trade-off is that, depending on your role, you could take a lot of stress.
right.
Yeah. It's,
Yes.
you if you want to resist it, you say you're gonna do it, you do it, you resist it, no problem, but now you have to roll to reduce 6 stress. So you could just, based on how well you roll, you might take a lot of stress from it, or you might take no stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got 3 stress left.
Well, so you take a trauma. It's just
It's-
trauma. It's just trauma. It's
Well,
not.
no, he wouldn't take a trauma if he has 3.
No, he has 3 to go. So once he
Because
has
the worst he could roll is taking 5 stress
Oh,
because he's going to roll at least a 1.
all right. Yeah. So he could take at least 5, but he has only 3 left before he hits trauma. So once he
Oh, he
gets
has
those,
only 3 left.
he has only 3
Yeah.
left.
Well, that's more of a challenge.
Yes.
So again,
So he
trauma.
might take it. So
Trauma is not the end of the world,
No.
and it's a potential RP hook that you can use to kind of, build your character. So again, trauma is not the end of the world, that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
decide what you like to do. You can resist and potentially get some trauma, or not at all.
Or you can try another plan.
Or you could try another plan and just go with it. So it's up to you. You're the one who can resist or not. So you tell me, Fish.
Okay. Well, it just, of course, I don't know how this at all works. It just, to me, it makes sense to push off the wall toward the bag of stuff, and I drift down toward the guy. I put a hand on each side on the floor on each side of him, and use that to push back toward the dispenser, and then pick up the drugs as I drift toward the dispenser.
Well, the problem with that, and that's part of this, and kind of part of this is you're buoyant. You don't have the ability to even touch the ground, much less reach
That's
the
not
vial.
that's not what neutral buoyancy is.
Yeah, he can kind of like swim down towards the ground.
Okay.
Well, this is like being
It's
in
just
the space
weightlessness.
station. I'm basically weightless. I push off the wall. I go in the direction I pushed off. I push myself toward the bag and the guy. And when I arrive there, I'm going to keep going. But instead, I put a hand on each side of him to stop my drift.
Okay. All right. No,
So
And use
it's
I'm on
impossible
board.
to be very
then
difficult.
use that leverage to push off back toward the dispensary and grab the drug as I've pushed off.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm on board with that. All right. So
This is like International Space Station 101, man.
Cool. All right. So let's do a roll. What
Okay.
action are you doing here?
Let's see. That sounds a lot like finesse.
Okay.
Finesse an item from someone's pocket. I mean, in this case, it's from.
Prowl is also moving with care and speed. I could see either or.
Yeah. It's up to you,
Well,
Fish.
well, I'll go with Prowl then, since I've got. Now, this is where the number of dots I've got makes a difference, or not?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Well, then I might as well go with Prowl, since I got 2 dots.
Okay. All right.
Prowl.
Okay, so go with Prowl. I will call this a
traverse skill. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I will call this like a risky limited though. What's
Okay.
basically with if you're prowling, you're trying to stealth is your option here. So
Mhm.
what this will do is it'll get you, if you succeed, if you get it, you have the potential to pick up the item. Getting back to it is another thing. That'll be like another roll, or someone else will have to try something.
What do you mean, getting back to it?
The dispensary, getting back to the dispensary. So you can do
No,
another roll to get back
when
there.
I push off the floor, so you basically then I got to push off the floor.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying though is, this roll will cover retrieving the item. Period. Nothing else but that.
Okay.
Unless you can up the oh god, help me out here. Position
Effect.
somehow.
Or position.
Yeah, or the effect rather. Excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can save a push. You can push yourself for extra. Okay. Help me out here, please. Not position. Effect. Thank you.
Effect.
You can push yourself
Yeah.
for extra effect, but then
Yeah.
you lose the ability to add more dice. So okay. So if you want to push yourself for effect, I will go risky standard, and that'll get you the item and then back to the dispensary.
Okay. And that means adding 2 more stress.
Yes.
Yep, 2 more stress.
All right, I'll do that. And then how many dice do I end up?
You unless
It's
so
just-
you push yourself, so you can't do a devil's bargain. I can't imagine how anyone can assist you at this point. So basically, you'll be rolling your prowl, straight prowl. So risky standard.
Okay. Risky, standard, and no bonus dice.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Okay. No.
Oh no!
Do you want to
That's
resist this? Do
terrible.
you want to resist this thing?
Wow, that's gonna really put me deep into.
Well, if you resist, unless you roll a 6, you will get a trauma.
yes.
Yeah.
get a pretty
or-
heavy
so-
trauma.
Or you can
I mean,
suck
that's
it
not
up and.
necessarily.
How it
all
how it
bad.
works with trauma is trauma. So if you go, even if you go like 20 over, it doesn't matter. As soon as you go into trauma, your stress clears automatically.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Yeah, but the issue is you will drop out of this encounter. Fish will be rendered. Fish will be rendered just not able to continue with this job. He'll show up afterwards. That's the negative.
Yeah. Or you can let it stand and we'll go from there.
It sounds like either way, I'm not able to do anything, right?
Again, if you resist the effect, period. The effect, the resist always succeeds. So you'll resist the bad effect here.
Yeah.
So it always succeeds, but you will have to take the stress. You have to roll your resist.
Okay.
Yeah. If
The
you
only-
roll a
but-
6,
but if
then
I
you don't
take-
take any stress.
Yeah, but if I take, I guess I don't quite understand. If I take the trauma, then I'm out of it anyway.
Well, right now you're just going to basically if you take the trauma, the negative effect won't happen, which in this case is probably going to be you falling into the guy. I mean,
Okay.
we do get to know what the negative
Yeah.
effect is. But I'm
Yeah, so
guessing
yeah.
it's going to be.
So yes, the effect will absolutely be you basically overestimate and slam straight into him, and do not recover the rage dust. It's now rolling across the floor to another person that is still in a stupor, that type of thing. So again, if you choose to just go with it, now that's what you have friends for. They all
Yeah.
have things that they can do here.
Yeah.
So we can go
Yeah.
from there, and then maybe it's quite possible you can get hurt. I can't tell the future, and then you'll end up taking stress anyway or harm. But that's the risk of the game here. So just basically let me know. Do you want to resist or no? That's the only question you need to answer right now.
I guess I still don't quite understand it all, but yeah, let's say reason.
Well, if you
I'll-
you're still basically if you resist, there's a good chance fish won't crash into him, but he will be no longer able to continue on this score. If you don't
Well, yeah.
resist, you'll crash into them, but fish will still be here. You won't be
Well,
gone. You'll still be in the
how much
score.
stress do you have left?
What does
One.
gone
One.
mean? I don't
You'll be
It means you're basically like knocked out, or you've left the building, or in some way you're not able to continue assisting us.
And then
okay.
you'll make your way back after the score is over
With the trauma potentially.
with the trauma from your harrowing experience.
Yeah, unless you
Okay.
roll a 6, of course, then you're
Yeah.
magically okay. But yeah, so
All right.
otherwise things happen and you're still here and play continues.
I guess I'll do this is resist, right? I'll still do that and see what trauma is all about.
Sure.
Learn about trauma.
Yeah. Good way to explore the game
It's an
system.
educational experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what do I have to do?
All right. Basically click on your let's see
On
here.
prowl?
On your
Prowess.
prowess. The top
Yes.
thing there.
The top thing.
It'll be in the stats. It'll be in the stats
the word
section.
prowess. The word
Yes.
prowess.
Yes, click on
Okay,
that.
Got it.
And
Bonus
basically or
dice,
actually
not-
no actually is there a resist roll or some
He is resist. You resist with the attribute of the action, so
Right,
prowess
right,
would
right.
work for
Oh
that.
no, I was just looking to see if there was an actual button for
Oh,
resist.
yeah, no.
But yeah, prowess. I think
That's
that's all it does. So yeah,
that's what the attribute is for. It's just
yeah,
for resisting.
yeah. So click prowess,
Oh
no
yeah,
bonus
that's
dice.
pretty resist consequences when I,
Yeah.
Okay, so prowess, there's obviously no bonus dice, right?
Correct.
Okay. What'd they do?
Let's see.
See it
6
already.
stress minus the
Okay.
highest die result. So you took 2 stress, which
Oh, okay.
which gives you your 1 trauma and
Yeah.
clears your stress. So
Oh, well, that's handy.
that is handy. So yeah, you've healed yourself by experiencing this horrible experience. This is a to be handled in Discord detail. But yeah, you're basically you kind of really, this is your first time swimming in the air, buoyant or not, and you definitely misjudge and you slam into the guy who rolls on top of you, and that's pretty much the last conscious thought you have for a while.
Oh no, you've been
and
smothered.
and the rest of you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
it's like the stuff, the rage dust is in a vial, and you hear that in this, in what you want to be just tranquil nothing silence here, tink 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 tink, and it sounds might as well be waves crashing on a huge rock for all the, all the noise it's making in your ears, desperately wanting to hear nothing but silence. All right, what do you do as the room starts waking up? Or not necessarily waking up, but becoming not drugged up, shaking off their days.
So I think I want to have a flashback to the point where we discussed, well, what happens if we have to just like spread the dust and on, at a run.
Hmm.
And part of that was, getting face masks for us.
Ooh. Oh, some kind of filters or something, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they would wear in like the mines nearby or whatever.
Right.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, if you're willing to take a stress for that, I'll say that
Take
you're
a stress for that.
all right. I would say that you definitely you can have those masks with you.
In which case we say plan B.
Right. And the benefit of that is that I'm not going to make you expend a load, and because this is part of your flashback, and we've agreed now, this agreement between us, as you spend the stress and I describe what you're getting, that this protects you from the dust.
And I think that's also the command for whoever was the designated person to get the vial and aerosolize it,
Oh,
among everyone.
that'd be my question. And if this requires a flash, I'm sure this will be requiring a flashback for this. Could Junker have taken a smoke bomb and altered it so that it can emit rage essence instead of smoke?
Well, I just want to point out that again, a flashback is not a time machine.
No,
we can't
just
change
had
what happened.
This was the backup.
Right, but yeah. So theoretically, you're saying so the rage essence that you have that you're going to put in the dispensary is all you have, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because that was our agreement when you spent the load, was that you'd have enough to drug everybody.
Yep. My thing would be that we brought as plan B modified smoke bombs. So you can just dump the rage essence into it, turn it on, set it off, and it aerosolizes it into the area. Okay. So it's just as a way to quickly administer it to everyone and then run away.
Okay.
As a quick and dirty option.
You still have to get to the vial.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
so so let's figure out. So if just to address that, if Junker is willing to expend a stress, that sounds like a great flashback. Let's do that.
Sure. I can do that.
All right. And
we have the masks and we have a grenade. All we need is the vial way over there.
Right.
Exactly.
So who's gonna get it?
Who is strong enough to get there through a throng of people?
If only we knew someone.
This sounds like a job for a man who breaks things.
What would you name such a dude?
I don't know.
If you had to, I mean, really, if you had to.
The Peacemaker? No.
Peacemaker,
No.
Tranquil God. I don't know. So here we are. All right. So what's Breaker doing?
Oh well,
Uh,
Breaker is not a subtle man. Fortunately, he is a strong man. He is going to barrel. He is going to just superhuman his way through the throng to get to that rage. Get to that essence.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, so
I would.
you want to get to that essence and get it to in Junker's hands. Is your goal here?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I
Yeah.
would. What would be a good one for that?
Yep. What's your reaction?
Could skirmish fit for that as like
Mm,
a
yeah,
type of
maybe. I mean,
strength?
you're close. You're engaging. You're trying. You basically said you're doing what you're doing. So yeah. So you're not necessarily fighting them with like a blade, but you are, as you described yourself, you're barreling through them. I could see it
Yeah,
as like
I'm
that
shoving them out of the way,
right
dodging,
that description sounds
maneuvering
like
through.
either like a wreck or a skirmish to me. From what you described, that would be those seem
I think, yeah,
appropriate.
I'll
What,
do skirmish because they're
okay.
starting to wake up, and so I'm getting through and avoiding the what I'm dodging out of that. I'm dodging, maneuvering through the throng aggressively.
Okay. All right. Let's say. All right, so let's do let's keep it risky for the moment. We haven't crossed over to desperate territory quite yet, but it's we're on there.
Close.
If you like spat in that general direction, your spit would be in completely desperate territory.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's call that risky standard.
Okay. Would my not to be trifled give me a boost in this? Using my freakish strength to just send guys flying out of the way instead of trying to like maneuver through them,
Well,
clearing a path.
I'm not actually using their. I'm not treating them as a gang.
Yeah.
And the gang assumes that they're kind of like
Well,
ganging up, if you will.
I
And these guys are just all over the place, flopping and that kind of thing. So I don't
well,
think.
it's also for just superhuman a feat of superhuman force. Fighting a gang is one, but another option is like tackling a horse. So I'm using the strength aspect of it rather than the like. Would that will I require the strength to get through them, or are they too discombobulated at this point to even need it?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I don't think you need it to get
Okay,
to the vial, basically.
sounds good.
Yeah. Again, they're all kind of coming out of a stupor, and some
They're
violent,
still.
some not, some still completely out.
It's early enough yet that it's not desperate enough to require. They're not organized enough to.
Yeah. If they suddenly formed up and they're conscious and communicating with each other, then they become a group that you now have some you can now equalize here. But
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that you're fighting that requires it at this point. So, yeah. So go look for it. Yeah, risky standard.
Okay. I see what the issue. Not if you trifle, it's cutting off the other abilities,
Yeah.
aspects of
And
it.
did you want to push yourself or anything, or just roll your?
Grab the vial and give it back. Oh, I guess I don't really need the extra strength.
Yeah. Like I said, if you want to push yourself, we can work another die in there or a devil's bargain. You have those options.
What would be the bargain?
Let's see. The devil's bargain for this. Let's see here. So you're trying to get the vial. I will say that I will start a clock that the vengeance of Moen.
Oh my. Sounds like fun and a way to get desperate XP.
All right. All right. Take the
I
extra. Take the
I accept your
extra.
bargain.
Take the extra die then.
All right. So let's do that skirmish.
Vengeance of Moen. Nice ring to it.
Oh,
Oh
there we
my
go.
goodness.
Here's where it's coming. All of our sixes are coming to roost.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, let me start your clock off first. Let's see here. Oops.
Vengeance of Moen.
Yeah, let's make this 4. So you ticked 1. All right. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. We have a 3, so that's a failure. So I'm gonna say this is starting to look like something out of a some kind of Three Stooges film. Basically we have fish drifts across, drops a thing, pushes off, is able to float down, and basically is trying to grab the thing and slams into him, and it rolls over, and now the thing rolls this way, and now we have Breaker, running through guys, and he basically gets to it, tips it, he can touch it, he feels the coolness of the glass on his fingers, and it rolls off in yet another direction, and in skirmish he will take 1 harm from these flailing bodies.
All right.
I will also start off another clock just because I haven't really been using clocks. I really should. But let's see
They
here.
are quite fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna create a new page, and we're gonna
Everybody loves a good clock.
Yeah. All right. So here's our new page, and let's see here. Let's see. Where did I had these? Oh, where the heck are they? Oh, here we are. Here we are. Okay, I've actually got some cool little clock things. Where the heck did they go? This is embarrassing. I just want to get a clock out there. It's not that hard.
No clocks for you.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where is it? The setting. I had this all going. Well, what the heck? Give me just a second, guys. I'm sorry for the delay. I normally don't want to keep you guys, but I got these clocks. Might as well use them. I can just figure out where the hell I put them. Oh, here we are, I think. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, so this is going to be, here we go. All right, and you guys should see that on your sheet, right?
I see a full clock or
Yep.
a full thing.
Yeah, it's actually, this is not a full clock.
Okay.
Let's see. It's kind of an interesting thing. So basically, you're one pie full of 6.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna make
So this is
to make it 2.
this and how the map is
Well,
gone,
did fail.
right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just on a different page.
Yeah, so Roll20 has different pages you can use, go from different things to different things.
Okay.
So this is just another page we can use. So this is going to be,
All right.
let's see here, some text, and it'll be hell breaks loose. Oop. And move. And there. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that decently. There we go. Cool. All right. So there's your clock. Yeah. So what do you do? Basically, so you took 1 harm. The bile is now teetering across where Junker or Peacock have an opportunity to maybe snap it up.
Let's see here.
Junker or Peacock looks at Junker.
Ooh, I just noticed we just hit 10 o'clock, guys. as a note.
Oh,
So
We did.
time flies. Why don't we let's do oh god, I'm tempted to just keep going. I know I promised you guys like earlier nights here. So would you guys like to continue on for just a little bit longer or want to hold that and we'll continue next session? I'll leave it up to you guys.
Doc,
Yeah.
I have no idea what time zone you're in, but I have a feeling you're late.
10 o'clock.
I'd be willing. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here.
Okay, it's not bad then.
I'd be willing to say we can go a little longer to make up for our late start, if you want to rationalize it.
That's what we're all about, Doctor.
I'm good for a little bit.
All right, let's do.
I'll go for a little bit longer.
I'm going to put a limit of 15 minutes on. Let's not be
Okay,
overzealous.
I'm good for that too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
let's go.
fine.
15 minutes tops. All right, so let's do this. Peacock looks at Junker. Junker looks at Peacock. They both look at the vial. They both look back at each other. What do they do?
Let's see.
No pressure. Time's just ticking.
I was just thinking of what to do.
All right.
I mean, if you don't do anything else, like cover me and I'll go in.
Or cover me.
Well,
Or, the hand signals.
At this point, I just say cover me because
yeah,
all right.
yeah, really,
everything's
really.
in the wind.
True story. All right. Okay, so Peacock's making a move. What you doing, Peacock?
It's not at all within his skill set, but he will wade in to try and get this thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your action you want to take here?
I think I'm hoping I can snag it with my cane sword and just
Ooh,
flick it up into the air.
Oh, finesse.
nice. Okay, yeah, some finesse. That'd be awesome. Okay, that works for me. Let's call it. Again, we're not over that limit yet, but it's spitting distance. So let's go risky standard.
And I think it'd be finesse, maybe.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
say
yeah.
finesse for that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
finesse is. I can absolutely see that working. Yeah, so I'm saying, given its finesse, yes, risky standard is reasonable.
I was thinking of trying to use my line to grab it, but I thought I'd probably just crush it.
That'd be bad.
Well, I'm hoping that if I flip it up in the air, that your next action will be to shoot it. The earlier thing is, sort of foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to push myself.
Oh, the thing with the cans. Oh wow,
Right.
you guys are good. Fuck.
Thematic.
I did not see that coming, but let's see if it actually goddamn works.
Because I don't want things to go south any more than they already have.
Oh, did you say you're gonna push yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And nobody can assist you, so you're on your own here.
Yep.
So yeah, let's roll finesse, 1 bonus die, and yeah.
Got something.
All right, cool. I'm gonna say you succeeded again. I know it sounds like anything less than a 6 isn't workable, but the fact is,
Right.
one through
consequence.
Yes, a success with consequence. So yeah, risky standard means that you got it up in the air, so it is absolutely up in the air where Junker could interact with it, shoot it, catch it, something.
I got the consequence.
But yeah, you got the consequence handled.
Which is if Junker shoots it, there's a good chance of hitting me.
That's cool. That works for me. It'll be a fortune roll. 1 die, 1 to 3, 3 to 6.
All right.
I think that's reasonable. Good call. If you're indeed going to shoot it.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll see how it
Someone
works.
owes Peacock a fucking drink.
Yeah, she'll take a pistol out from her holster on her hip and
Nice.
That's a pretty. I'd say hunting.
Yeah. What action do you want to use? What are you calling this?
Well, hunt, yeah. Attack with
Yeah.
precision shooting from a distance.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And that's what you bring out your gun. That's you're doing it. You're doing it. Therefore, you're doing it. So yeah, that definitely works. It. So all right. So let's yeah to represent. You know what? I think we can better represent this with your rolls. Let's do it. I'll do a desperate standard. So things could go very badly right now, but they could also go pretty freaking spectacularly, and you can resist if you wanted to. So I'll instead of doing the roll, we'll integrate the consequence of Peacock's roll into your position, which is risky, or I'm sorry, desperate. So
Yeah.
do you want to push
Alright.
yourself, or do you want a devil's bargain? Like you automatically shoot Peacock? Just putting it out there.
I'm good for it.
I'll push myself.
All right.
Is anybody possible to assist me?
No. I mean,
Sorry.
his Peacock's he could have would if the fiction worked a little different, his throw up in the air would have been an assist, but he was
Yeah, you
that
could
that
a
was
setup action.
well that was
basically what it is.
well no I mean his action was to get a hold of the vial and get control of it so that you guys could do something. So that his success with that got the vial for you. So that's why I'm not counting it as like a setup type action, because it's his goal was to get control of that vial and get it in a position where it could then be used. But so
All right.
so yeah, so hunt with an extra die and desperate standard,
All right.
You get XP.
and you get you can mark 1 XP after this.
All right.
No
And
pressure.
you might shoot me.
And you might shoot
Sorry,
me.
you won't shoot me.
You could. It's not done yet. I feel a 6.
You have to get at least one today.
Oh, 4.
4.
All right,
4 is
partial.
At least we succeeded.
I will say that yeah, you shoot it, it scatters. Peacock will take a harm from like more glass shards, like suddenly powdering and basically blasting him, in the face that the mask isn't covering.
Nice.
So he has some like little reveals of blood running down his face pointedly, but yes, the place is now flooded. You basically see a red haze.
Masks on.
Yeah. Oh, they've
already
been
on.
on. They've been
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
So, for expedience sake, I'm gonna call score completed, and you guys fish the hell out of there and make a run for it. You go out the same way you came in, and there you go, score completed.
They start losing their minds.
Cool. All right. So,
Well, not the cleanest.
not the
No.
cleanest, but exciting. I think one of the more exciting scores you've had. I think.
It is more exciting than 6. 6. 6.
Yeah.
We wander out.
Motherfucking 6. Motherfucking 6 again.
I'm gonna go kill the God Emperor. 6, 6, 6. I guess you do.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Let's, like I said, for experience sake, the score is settled, or you know what I mean. But I want to get you guys out of here in time. So let's keep all the other post-score stuff till next time, and we'll do our best to kind of catch up. We'll go through the cycle. This is not, and I really enjoyed our free play, and I think that's really important. So if we have to experience some awesome RP, but it puts us behind the cycle, I for one am totally okay with that. I think we're here to roleplay too.
Yeah.
I agree, and I'm
role-playing
glad we
is
did
good.
it. Where I found that things really slowed down is when the GM tried to include free play like between every segment of things.
Oh yeah.
And then it was just like, every downtime is a free play. It's just like,
to clarify for our viewers, you're talking about a not me GM. You're talking to another
Right.
game. Okay.
yeah, a different game,
Like, wait a second.
Because Scotty don't play that.
a past game.
Yeah.
And then it just became a little bit too much.
Yeah, but this again, we're here to role play, and that free play is I think an
And
important
I'm
part of it.
interested to see what trauma Fish ends up with.
Yeah. We'll discuss that on Discord and see where that goes, because that's gonna be interesting. I mean, he's already a deep character. He has a lot of interesting little facets going for him. I think it's gonna be a really fun, creepy one.
I'm actually I'm looking forward to Fish's trauma.
Good to
Do you want
know.
to just do our experience quickly in Discord?
Sure.
Or we could do it. We got 5 minutes if you're willing to
Yeah,
go to the edge.
Yeah, if you guys feel like you can do your
Sure.
XP in 5 minutes, let's do it.
I can.
All right.
I'm good. I'm
All
good
right.
with that.
Let's start with Peacock. He sounded the most sure of things.
I just challenged with deception or influence. I don't think I was particularly successful.
Yeah, let's go with
So I
that.
would go
That
one on
counts. That counts for something.
Background, going with the noble thing for my cover. That was, I would say, 1 as well.
Sure.
And I don't think I struggled with any issues for my vice because I just like leaned in and said, "This is what we should do." But I don't think it was really a struggle. So
Sure.
I'll just go with 2.
All right. No advice. Okay, cool. 2 for you. On to Junker. What are you thinking?
Okay. Address their challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I definitely would take 2 with the drift oil and the shooting and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call it 2.
And express your beliefs, tribes, heritage, and background. I'll take at least 1 for like doing my party with the other people and stuff.
Yeah, I'll give you 1 for heritage.
And
That sounds awesome.
the other one, I haven't did any vice or trauma, so.
Okay, so let's call it 3, and then you already took your 1 for your mark for desperate, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then you're set. All right, let's go to Doctor.
Let's see. I addressed a challenge with stealth and evasion.
Absolutely.
Well, sure.
I would go.
Successful.
Yeah, I would go 2 on this one. You both
Mhm.
you did a lot of it in the mission, and you did some of it on you basically were leading the pack on the find information. So let's call it. I'm happy to call that 2.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know that I expressed beliefs, drives, heritage, background.
Okay.
And I didn't struggle with issues for my vice.
When you went and fed the eel.
Yeah, the fang the eel. I would say that.
Oh,
would
that's part of this all too.
Oh yeah, no. All
okay.
just regular like characterization that gets you experience.
Yeah, this is
okay.
this is a drive of yours. Like you felt the need to, kind of make peace with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's call that 1. So let's
Okay, so that's 3 in all.
Yep. Okay. So 3 and Neocree.
All right, violence or coercion. They tortured that one guy for a long time.
That counts for something. I'll give you 1 for that.
Yep. That poor man. I coerced the heck out of him.
Yeah,
with
you
violence.
could with violence. Yeah, I'm still only calling that one 1. I don't think it's fair to give you 2 for just that.
No, that's fine. That's all I was. 1 for that. Beliefs, drives, heritage, background. I'm saying 1 for that. Talking with Sharktooth, bringing up the war. And also then discussing like what to do with him. Show that he's very much part of the brutality of Shanas just naturally, but he also tries to embrace. That's why he likes Ramira, because he sees he embraces the calm, so he tries to do that as well.
Okay, I'm good with that. So that's what are we calling that then?
That's 2 total, 1 for each.
Yep, and then vice or trauma issues.
Nah, not yet.
Not yet. All right.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Maybe we can hope. All right, awesome guys. We did it all this within the limit.
Yeah.
The extra 15. So awesome game. I just want to say you guys are really impressed me with this one. I am very proud of this one. So far this is my favorite session. I think everybody got a bit of spotlight. Everybody got a bit of action. Everybody got to show us a bit of their character, and I love the fuck out of that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry
for eating a little bit.
I don't have any problem with that. You're doing fine. I
was
didn't even
not
notice it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, really, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, and I drank water, or soda or whatever. So I'm a bad person too. So.
I was really impressed that we ended up doing foreshadowing.
Yeah, that was a nice bit.
Yeah.
Really well. That was like, ooh.
I like it when that happens and you just can lean into it and say, well, this is what we did.
Yeah.
This was a movie the entire time. We always planned.
We meant it.
Funny.
It's like a Yeah.
Picture
we'll
perfect
chat on.
moment.
Very nice.
A Kodak moment right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do get another dot on the inside. I'm trying to figure out what to put it in.
Okay, no problem.
Nice.
Figure that out, and we'll just pop on your sheet. Let us know what you picked on Discord. So yeah, okay,
See
cool.
everyone next week.
Yep. So I just want to say a quick bye to everybody. Let's we got Neocree over here.
Take care, everyone.
We have Dr. Oculari. And there's Dr. Oculari's thing. Very cool, as always. We have Cassie Mouse over here.
Yep.
And we have Steve over here. Last but not least.
Good night.
Yep. And this is Scott's Case Files. If you're watching on Twitch, all the info is below. Please join my Twitters, my Discords, all the good stuff. And of course, this episode will be on YouTube within the week. So watch my YouTubes too. All the stuff's there. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Again, my players are freaking awesome and really, really impressed me this round. I'm so proud of you guys. It's awesome. So on that note, have a great week, a great weekend, and see you on Discord.
Okay. Good night.
Cool.
Yep.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye for now, guys.